he did decide to do a little bit of suitless Meridia action. I feel like if that's the decision here, that might not work out as well because, well, Andy a step up from his previous one. Nothing wrong with Eaterific. He's in the top 8 here in this tournament for a reason, but Andy's a whole nother ballgame.
Yeah, I mean, like some of the, especially in this, like some of those like really big sequence breaks can make. I know we've both said like, like a Link to the Past, you need like pretty much each dungeon needs something very specific. There's not really too much chances to break something completely besides hookshot or flippers. Are the only two things you can probably that are like logic required that you can skip, and lamp. But in like SM, like we've both said, it's like you need morph ball and the rest is negotiable.
Yep,
so
exactly.
Like you can do like it didn't quite pan out in my seed, but like I kept talking about it. Like that hell run, if I managed to pull that off, like that would have really opened the seed up for me a lot. So sometimes those big breaks can pay off, especially like maybe not all of Meridia, but just doing the Dragon play.
Yeah, that's kind of what I think we were expecting him to do, just the Dragon play, and then he just kept on going.
Yeah, because it's that Dragon. It's like Colosseum's a little slow. Your Dragon fight's not really that much slower at all.
No.
So you can kill Dragon suitless pretty quickly. You get your boss done, you get 2 items. That's not a terrible play. All of Meridia is it's a bit much though. So okay. We'll see what happens this one. It really just depends. We could just have 2 suits early. It's normal logic, so
yeah, that happens a lot. Yeah, it's not unusual to see those 2 suits early and get that everything open in SM right away. Andy checking Uncle, just getting some rupees and a bow. Okay, well, that's a good early find. And Azure picking up a hammer in the well. So, not the well, the forest drop down. Andy will get that. Might be a little bit longer for Azure gets to that bow, as we saw him hit the escape area pretty late in the first seed.
Yeah, especially with the hammer right there. Oh, 20 rupees on the triple. It's very nice. But like escape's one of those things that like unless it like forces you, and yeah, I'd say this hookshot's probably bad because it's gonna lead him away from escape. The big thing, if he can get mirror, maybe he can get it like in a dark world. With pyramid, where he kind of did it last time too. That's generally when you see players try to clean it up. Also depends on how much is going to be in the back. If he gets gloves, if there's only like 2 items in the back or 1 item in the back, he's going to know that front's a little bit more loaded and be a little more inclined to go there.
Absolutely. Okay, we're going to see the first look at Blind's Hut here. Andy, meanwhile, will pick up his hook shot. Moon Pearl already. E-Tank. Arrows. Supers. And a Quake Medallion, which who knows if that's going to be useful.
Yeah, it is nice to have though, especially with the you don't need the flute for Myra in this. It could require the lava dive, so you may be players a little more inclined to do those lower Norfair plays with like at least 2 medallions, if not all 3, giving you a better chance of doing Miter on the first trip.
Yeah, nothing worse than getting down to that Misery Mire area with 2 medallions and not the right one.
Or it's on the screw attack, one of the 2.
Yeah, it happens.
So we'll see what happens, but honestly, with everything Azure's found so far, I wouldn't be surprised to see a glove soon to get Dark World access. I feel like the story of the seed for a long time is going to be when does Azure go to that bow, because there is not progressive bows in this, so he has to get that one.
That's right.
And we do have at least Eastern as a crystal, so we know it's required. But yeah, early on, the seed's generally going to give you one of 2 things. It's either going to give you Morph Ball to open up a lot of SM, or it's going to give you Dark World access.
Yep.
So Dark World access requires like 3 things either way: either hammer gloves, Moon Pearl, mitts and Moon Pearl, or Moon Pearl lamp and either Master Sword or cape. So with 2 of the 3 things for Dark World, it's probably going to be a Dark World seed. Although it does happen where you see Morph Ball and Dark World access in like Sphere 0. Which is always kind of cool for races because you can get some pretty big divergences that way.
As you're going to buy some bombs here. And spamming that Quake Medallion. Thanks, Azure. Okay, let's see what's on the library. Yeah, we're not coming back for that piece of heart. And we'll see what the race game has. As you're going to check ahead of time, typically if you're going to blind check it, you're yeah, not going to pick that up. The X-ray, I mean, it might come in handy if they have charged plasma when they do certain bosses, but honestly, I don't think I go out of my way to pick that up. So yeah, no microwave beam.
Even if you had charged plasma at this point somehow, like picking it up, it's just like bombs are so valuable here, and it's not really that much faster. I wouldn't be surprised to still skip it in that scenario.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now we'll get a check in the South Shore area. Nice clip with the hook shot. Just 50 rupees. Not going to pick those up. At this point, it doesn't really get you that close to Zora money. You're still pretty far away with those extra 50. So I don't blame him for just leaving it there.
Yep. And he heading over to the Eastern Sash area. We'll see if he makes the Eastern dip. I feel like it's a little more common to do the Eastern dip if it's a pendant, and you just hope you never have to come back.
Yeah, well, he's got the bow, so yeah, he can do it. I mean,
oh, that's true. He's got the bow.
He's got the bow. He can clear it. I mean, it's not in logic. You need the lamp to put it fully in logic, but I mean, Andy's going to be able to do the dark rooms. It should not be a problem for him. A shovel for azder. More heart pieces. A grapple beam, which is always interesting. So that's an interesting mini Moldorn cave. That grapple beam will put Wreck Ship in logic when they get there. It will put X-ray in logic. Eventually we'll put Shack Tool in logic. With high jump and or space jump. Plus, of course, gravity suit. But really, if Ice Rod Cave doesn't have anything, then Azder's going to have a choice to do the eastern area without the bow or go do escape. We'll see which one he decides to do.
There's something else here in Eastern. Andy's going to have a pretty big advantage early on. We'll see when Azder ever makes that play to escape. Although he's running out of things here, so he may end up making that play sooner than later.
Yeah, I think this is either escape or Eastern. And it looks like... oh, he's going to do the shovel first. That makes sense. Follow that shovel.
Yeah, the fetch quests are a lot more valuable early on just because there's so much less that's open.
Yep.
You know, it's just a little bit more likely that someone's going to be there. Later on, not nearly quite as valuable.
Yeah, it always seems conspicuous when a mushroom or a hammer plus powder or a shovel shows up this early in the game. And it's a lamp.
Yeah, which does put what Andy's doing in logic. So
in logic, yes, it does.
Yeah, would not be surprised to see either the glove or morph here.
Yeah, it looks like Azder
that also is going to hint to Azder too. Yeah.
Because that'll open up Dark Cross, and if he finds the small key, he will be able to full clear escape if he wants to. And you know, this could be one of those seeds where those gloves are sitting there in the back of escape. That could happen. Reserve tank for Andy there in the big chest there of Eastern.
He's also probably, because he got kind of burned by this last time, to make sure he comes here sooner than later. Andy didn't do escape at all, right? So this is the first time
he just did escape. Uncle.
Yeah, this is the first time we're going to see escape proper.
Andy doing a nice job with those dark rooms. Without a sword, using the hook shot. Really, these rooms are not too bad with that hook shot.
Oh, we're going to get to see Popo strats from Andy here.
Yay.
Shoutouts to Armos RTA. Oh, no, Andy. What?
Oh, he's using the hook shot.
This is shameful behavior from Andy right here.
I don't know.
I mean, honestly, in the rando situation, because you're not, those Armos aren't going to have arrows in their draw pack. He needs all the arrows for this. It's not too. It's just the 2 extra menus, so it's not too bad.
So, did we find anything in Eastern? I don't think we found anything but this crystal in Eastern. So
no,
there's got to be something here in the escape.
Yeah, surprising with that bow and lamp, but yeah, it's probably Dark Cross then, or it could be here. I didn't see where the key was. Sometimes the logic sometimes requires you to have the lamp to even get to this half of escape.
Yeah, the key.
Yeah, so we had this without lamp then.
Okay, so yeah, we had this. Got to go all the way back. Could be that glove. And
could be. It could be cape, which would be hilarious.
Could be cape. Yeah, or the master sword. No, we need 2 swords.
Yeah, we need
2 swords.
Yeah, we need
at
least
one
sword for the capes. Yeah, sword and cape.
Yeah, at the moment, 1 item in Logic and SM, being that this is normal mode, and that's just the morph ball location. We'll see if either one of them chooses to go check there at any point. As you can perform a death warp, because otherwise it's really slow to walk back up. We have found some nice early items. It's always good to get an early hook shot. The bow's a nice one to get early. The hammer, but not having a glove yet, not having that morph ball. We haven't seen any SM major items yet. I'm not even sure we've seen a power bomb pack, to be honest.
Yeah, I've seen a couple seeds where your first power bomb pack is conspicuously late. Those are always kind of... It's rare, just because there's so many of them. But sometimes that first one is relatively deep in the seed.
Oh, there's the power bomb pack. It was in Mini Moldorm. We've seen 1.
And there's Varia, but we don't have Death Mountain access. That's a little odd.
Yeah, that is interesting, because that very suit, it doesn't open up a lot. Right now it opens up nothing. He needs something. They need something to get over towards Death Mountain. They don't have anything to get through the cathedral area to actually make use of that area.
Yeah, they can't get to Death Mountain.
Like you say, you need to be able to actually get to Death Mountain right now to do the portal, and right now they can't. And it's a flute that's going to put Death Mountain in Logic. Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it could be an item on Vanilla, or High Jump E-Tank.
Yep.
Could have an item. There's the other Old Man and the item in Spec Rock too. It's pretty much, it has to be where it is.
Yeah, at this point, because we've seen the Eastern area from Andy. Azder looks like he's going to go activate that flute right away. I like that choice rather than rushing over and doing Eastern. Ideally, he'd like to combine that later with Pod, if Pod's also a crystal.
Yeah, it's just with having so little left, and this flute opens up a fair amount. Also, will make your Agina check a lot faster.
Right, we almost forgot about it. I did forget about Agina.
So yeah, like a lot of the items that can make a seed kind of painful, we already have. Like not getting hammer till late is pretty annoying. Not having Varia can be annoying, so you start looking at maybe doing hell runs. The flute, you don't have to worry about unless Mitz is specifically in the Maya area, which is a lot rarer.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about doing LN runs to get to the Maya area.
Well, never mind. Azure is going to go ahead and do Eastern now, it looks like. Which, I mean, it's not a bad call either. Get that 1 crystal done. The runners will be pretty even out once he's done with Eastern and Andy's done with the escape. Azure will have a slightly easier time because of the fact that he has that lamp. But, like I said, at the runners of this caliber, they don't really need that lamp that much. So it's kind of more of a luxury item in this case. Although, you got to remember, could gate a fire rod somewhere, so could be required, but also good to have.
Yeah, getting it as your first fire source is definitely helpful.
So Andy's going to make his way through the escape, eventually get his flute. Azur's just going to get a crystal out of Eastern. And we'll see where the runners are at that point. Now, Andy still has to check that shovel. So unfortunately, we're at that point where everybody's basically tracking over each other's footsteps. So not going to be a whole lot of new information for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm still more expecting to see that glove pop up next, just with so much other Dark World access being in hand already. But you can always get the surprise morph, but it's almost certainly one of those two.
Yeah, oh, totally agree. The other possibility is that AGA access if we get a couple items.
You're just running out of spots for there to be two items somewhere. Honestly.
I know, exactly. I know, right? We do still have the worst case scenario for these runners if there's something progression at the morph ball location.
Yeah, we could also say it's also possible to get like a high jump space to get into Upper Norfair, something like that. Or speed would also get you to Croc, but speed would also get you Brinstar access. So speed would be interesting because it opens up a couple
speed would be really interesting, actually.
Yeah, because it would open up Pink Brinstar, it would open up the ceiling E-Tank in Retro, and it would open up Croc, specifically, not Upper Norfair without the morph.
As you're checking to see if he has any dungeon items, sees that he doesn't, so he doesn't have to check the big key chest. Which is always a nice thing to be able to skip. But yeah, we do have our runners basically doing things in the opposite order, and they're going to converge very shortly. Looks like Andy did Andy actually do this shovel check? I'm not sure. I know he has it.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I didn't even see where the shovel came from, honestly.
I want to say it was in Ice Rod Cave. Is either that or Mini Moldorm? Is one of those.
There we go, Azder. There's the bow shrats I was looking for.
He wants to save that menu. He's going to just pick up some extra arrows. The game, basically, like if you're playing this for the first time and you don't try and use the bow and arrow here when the game gives you the bow, and like every pot right here has a bow, or sorry, it has an arrow in it, you're just not paying attention.
Honestly, it probably comes out even with that extra walk to get the arrows for Armos in that situation.
And Andy going to go ahead and activate his flute, and I suspect we'll see a flute to 1 from both runners very shortly. They'll get there right about the same time.
Yeah, so Andy just with a very tiny lead overall here. But yeah, I don't think you're right. I don't think he has a lamp, which is at the shovel.
Oh,
Azder's
gonna do the fake flippers.
This is a bit of an odd call without the money.
I don't like this call without the money. I don't like this call at all without the money. With the money, I love this call. And Andy, no one's going to Death Mountain. Andy's going to go do Agina. So there you go. I keep forgetting Agina.
Yeah, I guess they're again thinking like they don't want to miss like a high jump or something. But if like Azder found the high jump here, like that's out of logic. You're really gonna do Croc right away with it being out of logic. Like, I'm not sure what they're specifically looking for here.
Well, he's gonna check the ledge here. See super missiles. He's gonna ignore those. Like, you're not gonna splash delete to super missiles.
Probably one of the worst things to see up there, though, unfortunately, because you really want
you want them. Yeah. Oh yeah, you want them for sure. But like, you also know there are 80 super missiles in the game, and probably going to be able to get them at some point. Okay.
Yeah, probably.
As you're going to forgo the Agina check and go rescue the old man. Andy right behind him.
Yeah, so Andy definitely checked that shovel. So yeah, this is.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Except for Andy or azder not of doing. Well, yeah, azder didn't do Agina. Andy didn't do these flipper checks.
Yep.
But yeah,
so pretty even.
For all intents and purposes, tied. Yeah.
Yep, and both got nothing out of those checks. So very even. Nothing at the old man. Well, missiles at the old man, so nothing.
It always feels kind of bad when you sort of last location your sphere 0 checks. But you know, as you can see, like something like this, like you know, just kind of everything, all those corners kind of had to be touched. So interesting. azder went into
a sword.
Yeah, I think what Andy's doing is the routing is just a little bit smoother because you can come up here and jump down into lower north.
Oh, there's that speed booster that we can't get right now because no mirror.
Usually I, in fact, do this first, then come down to do old man at the edge, so I go all the way up and come down.
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's timed it out, but yeah, I could see the argument either way. We do have a hook shot to get east though, so Andy's still not going into Norfair.
I think the one argument first for the way I do it, and this has bit me like once, is you go up, you find like mirror, or you even go all the way to hammer or to hair and you get hammer, and then you can go to East Death Mountain, and then you just never did the old man.
Yeah,
which is really bad.
Yeah, I've seen that happen before. Okay, and that speed booster teasing the runner sitting there on the spectacle rock.
It's really teasing these guys because they both know how to get it right now. Okay, there's that glove.
All right.
So that sword is just gravy. Really, really nice to have. Honestly, the seed didn't have to give it to you at that point.
No,
but it's great to have.
Oh, there's
probably
going
to be doing.
Now,
yeah. That's Andy's free. He didn't even. Yeah, I didn't really. And there's high jump.
This is getting really interesting because that high jump now allows them to go over to Bubble Mountain if they want. There's also Pendant Hera sitting there for the runners to do. If it was a crystal, I'd be yeah, let's do it. And now it's a pendant. Could have something good. Could have garbage. We don't know.
I wouldn't be surprised to see. I mean, at the very least, what I would expect to see is the basement here. The problem is.
Yeah, I'd be reasonable.
The spiral cave routing is a little awkward, especially if Andy wants to go to Bubble Mountain here. I kind of expect more going to Dark World, though.
Azder's just going to save and quit right out of Paradox. I think he maybe is going to follow those high jumps. Or maybe not. Going back to Link's house. Oh, because he's got the... Oh, he's just going to go right into Dark World. That makes sense, too. Looks like Andy's going to make a Hera play. So getting a little bit... Now we're finally getting a little bit of route divergence as the seed opens up a little bit for us. You know, Azder's pretty big on wanting to get to that Hype Cave location pretty quickly when it becomes available.
Yeah, Andy also has hookshot here, so I wouldn't be entirely surprised to see him actually go up here either. It's still pretty quick with the Herapot method. He's at least checking the back here. We'll see what he does after that.
Yeah,
Super's a nice reward.
You know, I don't know if I like this play in a Pendant Hera, because that item could still be on the big chest.
Yeah, it's the same reason I don't like Skullwoods without the Fire Rod. Those chests are even less valuable because they could just be dungeon items.
Yeah, exactly. He's only going to get one more check out of this, or if he wants to kill Moldorm, he'll get 2. And it's just supers, so we've seen 2 items.
This is, of course, his problem right here is now he's kind of stuck up here. Is he killing Moldorm?
He is going to kill Moldorm.
I'm wondering if he knows if this is a... This is a little... Maybe he's thinking about going to Bubble Mountain, so he wants to go down, and he figured he might as well just kill Moldorm to do it the quickest. Like, there was a little hesitation there, so it was interesting.
And as you're going to go ahead and go straight to Pod, which looks like it is a crystal. Looks like our... Oh, we got the Meyer Turtle Rock pendant combination. Oh my. So we may not even need a medallion today.
Medallion or Samaria.
Yeah. Actually, the Samaria situation actually kind of often scares me in this situation just because you have those 5 checks in GT. that all could have the big key. There was a very famous, I don't know famous, but there was a race during the Link to the Past randomizer tournament last winter where it came down to 2 runners having to run and find that Canis and Mario to get to the right side of GT.
That was, yeah, I called that one. That's the infamous, I'm not even gonna say it, but you know what happened. That's it.
Yeah, yep.
You know what memes occurred during
that. I do. We'll not mention those. And we'll see if Azure missed anything skipping Spiral Cave. Spiral Cave is a check that he'll often skip and try and get back to later if needs be.
Yeah, it's especially with being able to clean it up with mitts. When you come back here later, it's not too terrible. It's just like you saw the routing that Andy had to do. He had to go to hair, come all the way back. Just a little bit gross for this one check, and yeah, it's nothing.
And especially without the boots. Yeah, especially without those boots. Without the boots, that Spiral Cave just takes forever.
Oh, he's cluing away. Okay.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to do his Hype Cave check, and maybe he'll take it into pod as well. Or see if he does something different. Of course, Azure being nice and thorough in the front of pod. Gets a space jump. That's nice. Not a needed item, but it is a logical item in terms of SMZ3, because it will, once they have Gravity Suit, it does give them logical access to Lower Norfair.
Yeah, but
they still have Morph.
Yeah, well, they also have Flute, so it could be through mitts, in which case you don't necessarily need the space jump. There's other ways up there.
Andy doing his map check, sees those pendants. In a way, I mean, if I'm Andy, I'm almost, a little disappointed there, because when I see those 2 dungeons as my other 2 pendants, it just makes it so much less likely that Moldorm kill is going to mean anything. Like, not that we want a ped seed necessarily, but, if you start killing pendant dungeons, going through and doing pendant dungeons, if there's only 1 left, then maybe you make the play, but not when it's Meyer and Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's basically impossible for a SM item, besides like Morph Ball, to be go mode on ped. You can pretty much break everything in some way or another. So either like all the other stuff that you would even have to be in like GT, or something like that. But it could be, and then with Turtle Rock requires so many items. Like Turtle Rock, ped seeds are just very rare in general. So yeah, ped is not looking good for Andy.
Let's see what the D game has for us. And Azure scores a Plasma Beam. And just
definitely nice to get
for Andy.
Yeah, definitely nice to get Plasma early in SM. It makes everything a lot, even without charge, just pretty much murders everything in your way.
And a Canis and Mario, so that's a little more important. Actually, it's not necessarily important at all. But at least we don't have to worry about that right side of GT.
Yeah, well, with the Icebreaker and the Diver Down stuff now, well,
yeah,
Diver Down because of moms. Kane is basically in the meta now with Icebreaker specifically. It just makes Ice Palace so much quicker to full clear. Like normally before you would never see anyone break Ice Palace without the flippers. With the Kane now, it's actually an attractive option to do. And both of these runners run the AD tournament, so they definitely know how to do all that stuff.
Oh, absolutely. Right, Azure. Unfortunately, without a mirror, he's going to either... I guess he's probably going to just Death Warp out of this.
Yeah, he was setting up early. Unfortunately, he killed a couple too many of these Dodongos, or Kadongos.
Yeah, pod without the mirror always feels bad.
Yeah, it's a little like if you hadn't done Eastern, it feels worse. But in this situation, it's not too bad. Andy making the same play. There's just so many items in pod. When you have logical access to it this early,
Oh, for sure.
definitely makes sense. Normally, you see players generally open with Thieves Town in Dark World, but again, being able to do pod here makes a lot of sense. I expect Thieves Town to be shortly after this.
Yeah, at this point, I think that the choice would be, do you go to Thieves Town or to go check that Bubble Mountain area? I'd probably do Thieves Town first, though, just because it's a very quick dungeon. It's a very easy dungeon. It's a full, I always like to say, clear the crystal dungeons that you can full clear, whether it be SMZ3 or just Link to the Past by itself. Upper Norfer will still be there when you're done, and, maybe you get your Morph Ball ahead of time, and so you don't have to double dip that area.
Yeah, it always makes sense to clear your objectives first. Like the past, those being the dungeons. And besides that, you have overworld checks plus the pendant dungeons. SM, like it's a little bit different, but you can kind of think of it the same way. Like you kind of think like Lower Norfair is like a crystal dungeon. Meridia, somewhat, although you can backdoor that one. Fantoon's weird because the boss is so early.
Yeah, Fantoon's a very weird one.
That basically the back of Fantoon is really not really part of the quote unquote dungeon. It's almost like Left Side Swamp, but way more valuable.
Yeah. Yeah, I like to compare Lower Norfair with Turtle Rock because it's so linear. Meridia more with Pod because it's not linear.
Yeah.
Or even and I like your analogy, Swamp with the wreck ship area. Although, like you said, two items versus a bunch of items.
Upper Norfair is kind of like what I would call like the equivalent of like overworld checks with a Link to the Past. So if you can do dungeons or you can do bosses, definitely makes sense to do those first. We still have Kraid on the table. We don't have Morph Ball.
No Morph yet.
Kraid would be. Kraid. You just see a lot of players do that because he's really easy to get to, either through the Upper Norfair or you can like come from the ship and just go down. So there's a couple checks on the way. You can just knock it off.
And speaking of AD stress, as you're using that hammer to finish up Helmosaur. And what did we even get out of there?
Kane.
Kane. Yep. Kane that may not be Kane and Space Jump, neither of which are really needed necessarily, but nice to have.
And like Space Jump would put that Bubble Mountain on logic, but already had high jump, so doesn't even really help there all that much.
Yeah, the Space Jump will put a few things in logic that once they get Morph Ball, and all of which they can do without, except the Criteria Power Bombs check. That would actually need Space Jump or bombs or some sort of can fly. And I think this is going to be the Thieves Town play, like you said.
Yeah, there's just no reason to put this off, especially with Hammer. If you didn't have Hammer, I could see delaying it a little bit. You always like to have boots for this, but you want to have boots for everything. So it never really makes too much sense to delay stuff until you have boots.
Yeah, I do like the call to do Thieves Town. We'll see if he does any of Skullwoods. Azure will sometimes dip Skullwoods before going into Thieves. Without that Fire Rod, though, maybe he doesn't do that here. Yeah, looks like this is definitely Village Outcast Thieves.
We're going to be in the situation where we have 3 Crystal Dungeons done before we even have Morph Ball here.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. But yeah, Andy, I like the way Andy did this better, using that hammer jump so that he can just walk out of here when he's done.
Yeah, as long as you have the big key and the another key to get out of here, the hammer jump. It doesn't save nearly as much time as it would like an NMG because there you'd have to like go to the right and come back to the left. This just makes the routing a little bit cleaner here.
Yeah,
and then he'll be able to go through Harmless. He will be able to go through Harmless to the boss right here. Especially with the mirror, this is really clean.
Yeah, so he won't have to do the death warp that Azure did. So he'll save a little bit of time there.
Would be a great place for a bottle if you're in a mirror.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a flute though, and you have to do Skullwoods at some point, so pretty easy to turn in. But again, now that we're a little bit deeper into the seed, those fetch quest items, especially Sick Kid, because there's 4 bottles. You never know when like a bottle was in logic or just kind of was sitting there.
Yeah, for sure. So far, not much at the beginning of Thieves Town. So far, a couple dungeon items. Of course, the big key has to show up in the first 4.
It was a really healthy seed too already with like 8 hearts here and blue mail. So
yeah. Not gonna. Definitely not gonna be worrying about health here, I think. And still not a whole lot in the front of Thieves here.
I will say Thieves Town is one of the more boring dungeons without the boots. Just so many long open hallways.
Oh, I know. It's a really fun dungeon with boots.
Yeah, and like you, especially if you have boots for both of these guys, like they could do it just without getting hit at all, and it's a really safe dungeon. You can see as you're showing off, especially this room without boots can be kind of nightmarish.
Andy and his Helmless Warfight also using some AD strats here. Nice thing about that is it saves you that menu to that bow by using the hammer and the sword to finish him off. Yeah, so a whole lot of nothing so far in Thieves Town, which, to be fair, I mean, it's Crystal Thieves Town. It always feels like the Crystal Thieves Town has nothing, and if it's Pendant Thieves Town, that's when it's going to have something hiding there for you.
And he's walking out here. I think he's must be going to Catfish here. This walkout is like so slow. I'm not like, it's barely even.
Yeah, I don't like this.
Than just going back to the warp, honestly.
I feel like there are faster, there'll be better times to route in Catfish. But if he scores something here, it'll be pretty big. And of course, we get the small key in the Maiden's chest, so we do have to check the big chest. Just making Thieves sound that much slower without those boots. And just some missiles there. And you can check the pyramid ledge. I don't believe we saw this on Azur's side. Oh,
yeah,
boy.
I was just going to say that we're really looking for this.
We definitely haven't seen that on Azur's side. Oh, boy.
Yeah, so now,
baby.
Andy definitely has an interesting call now, whether to do this Thieves Town play. He is going to continue to go to Catfish. It does make some sense, just might as well get this out of the way. He hasn't done the flipper checks, though, so there is an argument for maybe waiting till later, and you can do it with like Dark World. Or in this, you can actually couple it in with Meridia checks as well. Just take this warp over here.
Yeah, or the standard mirror plus flippers to get all of it at once.
Mirror plus, or he's got the red cane, so he could do the, or he's got bomb, got bow, so he could do the Encyclic Flipper. He had a lot of options, but just kind of getting it out of the way here. With that morph ball, though, I would be kind of surprised to see anything here.
Okay, as you're probably going to continue on down south and do the South Dark World. Or maybe he's going to go north. Okay. Well, maybe this will be the Skullwoods check. We'll see how long it takes him to get to that pyramid ledge. Because he's already done Pod, so he's got no reason to go there to get to Pod. It's going to check bumper ledge for missiles, which we won't come back for. Meanwhile, Andy with that morph ball is going to go straight into Norfair. I like that he's choosing to finish up this high jump boots area. This is a really interesting area. I don't know if it happens as much now, but early on, that was a very popular spot to skip these two items because you go and check the first item early, and then you get a morph ball and you forget to ever go back. And as you're going to do the Skullwoods play. And unfortunately just gets a dungeon item in the first chest, so he'll probably do the middle, maybe steal the key to do the rest of the front. Andy gonna go ahead and sequence break the ice beam item. I always like to do this. There's no reason not to do this. The mock ball, I mean, these guys have no problem with mock balls.
Yeah, I mean, even without Varia, it's pretty easy as long as you have a couple E-tanks here.
Yeah, 4 E-tanks is more than enough for this as a hell run. It was just rupees there, so not a whole lot there at the moment. And this will be in logic as soon as we find mirror, because we do know that the speed booster is sitting there on Spectacle Rock. As you're missing the bomb jump. There we go. That should be good. Gets the small key he wanted, because he didn't actually steal the key. He got the big key to open the big chest. But this will let him get the rest of these items if there's something good here.
Yeah, and if you're used to the regular length of pass randomizer, the pinball room is not randomized here. This is way back on like what would be the V29 logic.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's why we don't have progressive bow. We don't have pinball room. We don't have fire rod being a logic for dark rooms. None of that is in SMZ3.
Okay, as you're starting at Link's house, I don't think this will be the play to the ledge. Unfortunately, this might be the play. This might be the play back into. Okay, he's gonna do Sick Kid. Then we'll see what he does next. And Andy gonna go kill Kraid.
Yeah, unfortunately for like that, that pyramid location is pretty annoying to get to.
Yeah.
Like like I said, you kind of want to couple it in either with like the Fat Fairy checks with the 2 red crystals, and what was it, Skullwoods and Desert.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean we're missing a couple things for that. We can't really do that. Maybe you want to do it with Meridia. Can't really do that. He's already done the Zord checks. That's one of the other things you could possibly couple it into.
Because he fluted to pod instead of going from Link's house and taking the portal there, and so that makes it even harder to get back to. Like a lot of times, runners will, if they want to go to pod, they'll start at Link's house, do the portal near Hype Cave, and hit the hammer pegs and hit the pyramid while on their way.
God. I can't believe Andy saved that. Have we had a Kraid quick kill miss yet in this tournament?
I think someone missed it in your race.
Oh,
I'm not sure.
It's gotta be maniacal.
Yeah, and this is the thing that I was worried about. Azder gonna follow. Like this is a perfectly good play from Azder. We know it's not gonna work out in terms of getting a morph ball. The seed is basically telling him, you have high jump, you have space jump, you have various suit, go check Bubble Mountain, and he's listening to it. And unfortunately, that's not going to be his morph ball answer.
Yeah, I mean, something could be here. It's a little weird that it gave us Dark World access while also giving access to this. He didn't do it originally, and now he's kind of cleaning it up. Like I said, I kind of expect him to be sort of last location in that morph ball at this time. But best case scenario for Azder is something else is here, like forcing Andy to do it. So it won't really lose that much time if that's the case.
Andy about check that spacer location.
Yeah, nice little jump off the crumble blocks there to not have to fall down and go around, or just wait for the block to reappear.
Oh, and it's a gravity suit. Okay, so Andy, yeah, that's a good one. Well, no suitless Meridia for Azure this time. He got that out of the system in the first game.
Oh yeah, we can't get to Meridia at all without.
No,
that doesn't. Really bad.
No, it opens nothing. It's actually, I think it's really good for him. I mean, Andy will have to now get it or choose to do suitless Meridia, which I can't imagine Andy ends up not getting that.
Well, if Meridia just ends up being empty, right? We could see again just the Dragon kill from Andy.
That's true.
He needs he's fine. He's got a high jump and grapple, so he's fine right there to be able to get out. And space. If you have space like Coliseum, like a lot of times players who aren't azder or Aussie are a little scared of Coliseum without space jump.
Yeah, and this is Azure just gonna reset. He'll get that. Yeah, he knows the gravity suit is. He'll get it later. He knows that Morph Ball isn't there.
Yeah, a little surprising because he's like, it could be Morph Ball to gravity suit to the rest of it, right? So
sure,
he might just have to do that top bit again and come right back out. Like, there's no guarantee that he can do it cleanly later on. So I don't really like the reset there. I think just carrying it out would have been better.
Yeah, I think I agree. The argument for doing it the way he did it is that last location he went to is not in logic. He doesn't have a wave beam to get back out. He'd have to do a gate glitch, which he's perfectly capable of doing. But he may just decide, rather than spending time on the gate glitch, I know where the gravity suit is. I mean, I'm gonna probably want to check this other stuff eventually anyway. So we'll do it later, and we'll just keep it in the back of my mind to go get it when I need to get it. Unfortunately, this also is these two checks. These are both in logic, the morph ball and the stealing item, because he's got that space jump and that high jump, and scores a mirror out of it.
Yeah, which is gonna get it again.
It's gonna be even further away from the pyramid. I think.
Yeah, because now this is Croc, which again with skipping that gravity, like, what is he gonna do? Go to Croc and then he's gonna have to go all the way back around to get that gravity, like.
And a charge beam. Okay, well. I mean, the good news, Andy will have to get those eventually anyway, but he'll get them more efficiently because he'll be able to route Blue Brinstar with a lot of the other stuff. Unless Azure starts following mirror checks in the Dark World, which could eventually lead him to that pyramid. It's going to be a while, I think. And that speed booster opens up Brinstar, and like you said, it opens up Croc. So yeah, this is really unfortunate.
I don't see him, just going I'm just going to do pyramid. Well,
yeah, I don't see
maybe
either.
Because he might just be annoyed. Honestly, it's the main reason that he reset that gravity, and now he has access to speed. Honestly, the only reason I could see going to pyramid would just be like he's just annoyed and he doesn't want to go back there. How did Andy fall down here? Did he just drop his space jump?
Probably, yeah. Having trouble getting back out.
Yeah, it's a little tricky to pull. Like, once you're above that water line, you can just kind of jump back up. It's a little tricky. Oh, well, this is the easy part. I wasn't saying Andy's been playing really well so far, but
yeah. There's better ways to do this. Like, just go further to the left.
Yeah, just go to the left at this point. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, he's gonna. I mean,
there we go.
Part of it was pride, but yeah.
And like you say, Azure's gonna go get that speed booster.
Yeah, we'll see
if he does anything. Hopefully, he doesn't take the bait and do like hair or anything. We know there's nothing there.
I mean, again, I wouldn't.
Go.
Honestly, like I wouldn't be surprised if he did basement. Honestly, I would prefer him at least doing the bottom floor here.
No, he's going to go into
at least do that. I think it's the right. I mean, we know it's not going to pay off, but I think it's the right call when you're up here. All right, we'll see these Dopplers from Andy here.
With this many missiles, should not be a problem. Azder's just going to leave with those supers.
I mean, he'll kill him. We'll see how many rounds it is, though.
And I think we're going to get the Spiral Cave check from azder.
Yeah, again, with avoiding it early, and he's got some pretty gross options right now, I think it does make sense to clean it up right now.
Checks the floating island, sees there's just missiles, so we won't be coming back for those. I think Andy checked that earlier, though.
Yeah, I think he is set up for a 2-round here if he can... Oh, does the very nice air doppler, just doesn't finish off the super. I don't think he was going for the super, but I think if his next missile, if he supered, it would have been fine there. That's really well done from Andy, especially... Andy really hasn't run new route or anything, so not nearly as well versed in the Doppler fight.
Yeah, it's kind of a little unfortunate that it's Andy that gets the early SM access, because it's unfortunate for azder, since he's like I feel like the difference in skill on the SM side is a little bit greater, and azder spending more time in SM is good for him. Whereas the skill differential in ALTTP definitely an edge to Andy, but I don't think it's quite as much.
I mean, it's just really hard to pick up time just from execution on Link to the Past, like at this level.
Yep.
You know, like when I first started running these, and I was looking at like other runners, it was like I'd be picking up like, 10 seconds, 5 seconds maybe in like pod or something, and then like Solski picking up 2 minutes in wreck shipping me. I was like, oh, well.
Yep.
It's like, yeah.
Okay, azder gonna do K45. He's done all the other... Okay, I don't know if he's done... Yeah, I don't think he ever did stump either dig game, so he's going to do all these checks over here. We'll see if it leads him back to the pyramid at all. Like, this... It feels like if he's going to go anytime other than last location, this would be the time.
Yeah, I think what I said might be right, where it's just... He just really doesn't want to do Croc, even though that's kind of what the seed is hinting at, from his perspective to him. Obviously, pretty much he's just got most of... SM available at this point. Pretty much all of it except for Meridia. Actually, no, he's got Meridia. He knows where Gravity Suit is. So yeah, he's got literally all of...
Yeah, once he gets that Morph Ball, he's got all of SM available. And for a moment there, it looked like azder was going to flute out, but he did change his mind. He does have that mirror selected, so he might flute from here. If it is going to be a pyramid check, I do think it might be faster to mirror after the dig game, flute to 4, and do it from there. But
Chat's pointing out to me that I forget that wave is actually in logic in this randomizer sometimes. It does actually need wave for Croc to be in logic. So.
No. Oh, yeah. For azder, yes.
Yeah. See, you forgot to, like, no one ever thinks of wave. Like, oh yeah, wave somehow. Wave is somehow in logic.
If I see wave, I'm checking Croc. Just, if I have wave and Very Suit in a way to get over to that wave gate, I'm picking up Croc. But yeah,
I'm just remembering like speed and wave are the two things that put Croc into logic. But I forget you actually need for speed to actually do it. You actually need
you need that Morph Ball
or wave beam. Yeah.
And we've seen seeds with Morph Ball over at Croc before. It's not an unusual thing. And this is not the pyramid play. He's gonna do. He did everything but. And this may be the Croc play.
Yeah, so I'm changing my tune a little bit. It's almost weird to be doing this now with it not actually being logic. But I mean, he could be thinking that wave is. I mean, he's got so little left. Like the fact that wave could maybe be somewhere.
And a book in the in what I like to call the most annoying room of the game there for Andy.
Yeah, this room is terrible.
I could think of worse places to find a book, but I'm very happy to not have a book ever show up, to be honest. Yeah, azder made very quick work of that gate glitch. This will be a very quick Croc fight, though. He does have charge plasma, so should be able to one-shot him.
He didn't save anywhere, so Can't just like reset back up to the. Or did he save right when he came in?
Well, it'll set him back to the ship if he resets at this point. So I mean, if he doesn't find anything, it's certainly reasonable to just reset to the ship, and then do your Brinstar checks with the speed booster. And that might be his plan, which will further last location that poor pyramid ledge.
Yeah, at this point, Andy definitely has an advantage here.
Oh, for sure.
With that more, just everything's gonna. I mean, he's. I wouldn't be surprised to see Norfair relatively soon. We'll see if he decides to do Brinstar. He still only has 10 power bombs. Really, 15 is the magic number you're looking for.
Yeah, odd. We haven't seen any of Brinloop. And it's a very rare seed where you can completely skip Brinloop.
Although I did, apparently the randomizer does downweight Pink Brinstar and some of the early Blue Brinstar checks.
Oh, we do see flippers on Azder's side. What is that? That gets him Swamp. Oh my god, it's just this. He just keeps getting stuff.
Fortunately, at least Swamp is a crystal. So
it is a crystal, so he has to do it eventually anyway. Is he going to give up on this gate? Yeah, he actually doesn't need to do the gate glitch because he's got space jump. He can go without. No, wait, he can't unless. Oh no, he'll do a short charge here. It's a very tight stutter here, but I want to say like a stutter 3, but I know he can do it.
Yeah, most people like stutter 3 this.
Except unless you're me and you just can't stutter.
Yeah, I think. I mean, you probably can do it with a very clean 3 tap. Okay. I was about to say it's pretty bad if you. Well, he's got space. He can get out that way, so it's not too bad.
Yeah, he can go out the vanilla way.
Oh, he's got grapple too. He can literally go out the vanilla way.
There's no issues here. You don't need a morph ball to get out this way. But yeah, good that he didn't reset that room before. I guess it doesn't matter. He could have, even if he had opened up the room, he could have still jumped back there. But it would have cost him a little bit of time with some extra door transitions. And with Azder, those are the kind of time losses that he just drives him batty.
Yeah, I hear that.
So he's full clear Croc, gotten his flippers. It'll be interesting to see when Andy gets those flippers. They are required because Swamp Palace. Unlike some, the last seed where, was kind of more of a suggestion because Ice Palace you can break to without flippers, but you can't break. You can actually, with the Ancilla effect flipper deletion, you actually can get into the water in Swamp Palace. You just can't get out.
Yeah, Swamp is remains completely unbreakable. And the speed run at least, the two solo use items are flippers and Ice Rod. And there's ways to break both of them with major glitches. The Ice Rod is it's like ace basically to do it, but so those are always the holy grail, finding a way to get those to be skipped.
Okay, floating to 4, so maybe this is. Oh no, this is the flippers. I mean, maybe the Zora play at this point.
He's already done it. Oh, he didn't do Zora.
No, he didn't do Zora. He just
okay.
did the waterfall parry.
A little surprised he's not just going straight to Swamp. Alucard mentioned in chat that Swamp to Pyramid looked like potentially the most likely thing, especially with what would make most sense to do. In my mind, I'd be like, oh, let's do Swamp, and then I can do Pyramid, I can do Catfish, and then he's going to be really kicking himself at that point for resetting the gravity suit, because then he could just go straight to Meridia.
Yeah,
now he can't do that. So, like I said, resetting that gravity suit just felt like a terrible decision to me. There's just too many ways it could have played out that you didn't actually want to go back to Norfair at all.
Okay, didn't see what was the front of Gauntlet for Andy, but we're going to see what's at the back as he starts his burn loop. A bottle and a missile. I think we've already gotten bottles, so that's really not that interesting.
Yeah, that might have been I forget if I have a bottle pickup.
Yeah, it could be.
I've done that.
Bottles less value in SMZ3 because they don't ever give you anything in them anymore. And skipping that 20, we'll see if he remembers to skip those when he comes back and does Turian.
Yeah, especially with their health, the bottle is not going to be really needed for safety at all at any point. Potentially could be useful because we don't have an invulnerability item for breaking Spike Cave, but that's pretty much it.
And we will see Swamp Palace, while two totally different areas. Swamp Palace for azder, Andy in Bryn Loop. Gets a tempered sword. That's always nice.
Yeah. I mean, this is a seed where you could be putting off Bryn Loop pretty late. And he does have the option to do pretty much all of Norfair. And not that he doesn't know he could do Meridia and Lower Norfair too. With that gravity suit, he would find. But Bryn Loop would be required, at least part of it. But we do know that mirror is down there.
Yep.
So at least has to be done a little bit. Is Andy the only one in this tournament that doesn't have Moonfall on?
Azure doesn't have Moonfall.
Oh, Ash doesn't run?
Nope, Azure does not run Moonfall.
Huh. I'm surprised, honestly.
I didn't know Andy didn't use it either, so we got the Moonfall-less players then, I guess. But this is interesting because the good thing for Azure here is he is still progressing. He is still doing Crystal Dungeons. This will be his 4th, to Andy's 2. That late location morph might keep him away from some worse SM checks. I don't know. He's already done a pretty good amount of clearing of SM stuff. So really, we're still too close to call. It's still way too early to make any kind of call as who's ahead. But it's just hard when you don't have that morph ball, and he's gonna last location it because, well, he might not. We'll see. Will he do? The question, of course, is when he's done with Swamp, does he do the Pyramid and some of the other Dark World checks up that way, or does he go and get baited into Pink Brinstar with that speed booster?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I kind of expect just going up to, going back up to the Pyramid, like just with kind of how the seas played out for him. I feel like kind of being thorough at this point is the best play. And you have a pretty nice Mission Impossible to get back up there.
And we do see a Bombos medallion that probably isn't useful. Although does get us Ice Palace once we have Mitts.
Yeah, I'm assuming that was a very nice diver down because I looked away for a second and
it was a classic all dungeons left side diver down from Azure.
It's funny, like you can tell who the speedrunners are.
Yes,
of this
yes, you can.
because the speedrunners do it correctly, where they put it on the left side.
Yep.
All the randos players on the right side. I'm like, what are you doing?
I'm the one exception because I learned my diver down from a speedrunner, so I do the left side as well because I'm definitely not a runner.
There's Mitts. So yeah, this Bryn Loop definitely required. Andy's on a pretty nice path here. Azder definitely not out of it though. Like again, like if you're gonna get kind of screwed by a seed, this is the way you want it to happen. Where he's at least gotten something in all of those.
He's progressing. Yeah, he is progressing.
Yeah. So the flippers again hard required because of Swamp. So Andy will have to go there. I mean, I guess we don't know that gravity is hard required, but I'd be pretty surprised for Andy just to completely miss that.
Oh yeah, absolutely. In fact, he probably takes us all the way to Norfair, I suspect.
Yeah. I mean, basically all Andy has right now is routing efficiency, which is not nothing here.
No, absolutely not.
But it's not like Azer's just kind of rolling around and not really getting anything done. But Andy's gonna have Tempered Sword for this fight. That's gonna be make it a lot faster, especially if he finds boots and can maybe do a 0 cycle. The Argus fight honestly gets very slow with lower weapons compared to Tempered and boots.
Yeah, and Azure did a nice job with that Master Sword, but still, like you said, it's definitely slower. And we got some powder over on Andy's side. He'll get his mirror now. And he'll get his charge beam as well. And Azure is going to go ahead and check the left side.
Yeah, with how this seed is kind of bottleneck for him,
Yeah.
definitely not some locations. So again, potentially something that Andy, when he comes here, he's gonna have a lot more, maybe a lot more inclined to skip this. This is like 3 minutes just for 2 checks. It is pretty slow.
Yeah, that left side swamp is just one of the most annoying locations in Link to the Past randomizer.
Yeah, so Andy getting his charge beam here. I guess Andy can potentially scout it, but we still haven't seen what's in criteria power bombs yet. So that, I mean, there is that possibility too. By the time azder does this loop, which obviously he has to at some point, he's going to be able to do criteria power bombs and waterway. If that either of those or something, that's going to completely change the seed, because those are the two. That's one of the reasons you want to delay the Bryn loop for as long as possible. Not having the other reasons being not having enough power bombs, or just not having, like, just doing it on low health and low ammo. Can be pretty slow. You're going into areas that the game expects you to do, like on your second loop through the game. So you have to run into like some side uppers and stuff to do a lot of damage. So if you're going in there like right off the bat, it can actually be pretty tough.
And that waterway location, just it's so easy to orphan that location, and so hard to get back to it if you don't have speed booster and you're going through that area the first time.
Yeah, so we'll see if Andy decides to make the scout. I'm kind of leaning to that he's not going to, that he's got such a hole already.
Yeah, sometimes I like to leave this just because then you have 2 checks when you get that speed booster later instead of just the one with waterway.
Yeah, it's the thing, like that's kind of my thing, that I think the reason to not check this is you need to get speed, and Andy already knows where speed. Well, actually, I'm gonna take it back. In this case, it makes sense to check. Andy knows where speed booster is. He has access to it, so this is actually a pretty smart check. This is a great check.
And it's just a heart container, so not going to pick that up. Nothing in left side swamp. Azder's thinking about what he's going to do next. Does saves and quit. Where is he going? He's thinking. No, he's resetting to SM, so he's going to go into Brinstar with that speed booster. And we are now down to, I think, Link to the Past. All he has left behind is the pyramid, the Zora area, the Zora check, plus Catfish, plus
he's going to be able. He's going to be able to get to those mitts too.
Yeah, that's not going to help. That's going to open up even more.
This is one of those seeds that, like, I've been in this situation too, where you just go like, the seed has given me so much. I can't believe that like Morph or something like that would be in like, pyramid, or even something like earlier, like we could, if it was an escape or something like that.
Okay, so here's where it gets really interesting. We could be looking at a go mode morph ball for azder. I mean, look at his loadout. He needs the morph ball, obviously. He knows where gravity suit is. We don't need an ice rod. We may or may not need boots. We haven't seen desert.
We definitely need fire rod.
We need a fire rod.
Is that that's literally it?
That's it. Fire rod and maybe boots.
Azder could theoretically. I was saying like, oh, well, he's never going to be able to do pyramid with But yeah, because he can do desert now. If he finds fire rod, yeah, he'll be able to do pyramid fairy.
Well, he doesn't have that.
Instead of doing pyramid fairy.
Oh no, he can do desert because he'll have the mirror and the flute in the midst.
Yes.
Oh my god.
And he can do lower north. What if fire rod's in lower north here? If somehow azder big brains skipping morph and it being the correct thing to do.
I've never seen a morph Volco mode. I'm almost rooting for that just because it'd be fun. we don't know where that fire rod is, and again, we might need the boots for desert. But yeah.
What is Andy pot? So Andy really hasn't found anything on his SM track. I mean, besides again mirror and mitts, which are both accessible to azder here.
Yeah, and azder already has that mirror, so. He's gonna get those mitts and he's gonna leave because that's all he can do. And like if he takes those mitts to Ice Palace, I mean, how often have we seen Fire Rod in Bombo's Ice Palace?
Yeah, I mean, this would be insane. If I was Andy and I lost this way, I'd be like, like just literally nothing's behind morph specifically. I mean, depending on how the logic might have thought it put things behind Morph, and it just turned out it didn't actually bother to do that.
Could be. This is a really wild situation.
Yeah, so azder, yeah, he can complete desert, he can complete ice. Yeah, then the only dungeon he'll have left is Skull Woods.
Well, again, we don't know desert yet.
Oh right, desert could be boots.
Could be boots.
Man, don't do it to me, Seed, please.
So I mean, it's just that fire rod could be in a really trolly position, and that also could be a nice evener equalizer, I should say.
Yeah.
As you're remembering, wait, I need to go back into Link to the Past, not to the ship. I've done that before.
Yeah, I was a little wondering. I was like, why is he doing this shine? It's gonna take him way too far.
Andy getting a boomerang off of the ether tablet. And I think this is the Ice Palace play right now. I like this choice from azder. I really do.
I mean,
especially with a cane. He's got the cane. It's so quick with Icebreaker.
Again, if I was azder, like I wouldn't even be feeling bad if I was azder, because I was like, this seed has just given me so much stuff to do. Like, Morph has got to be somewhere insane, right? That's what I'd be thinking. Like, it's so unlikely that I had all this stuff and just so happened to not be behind Morph, and that's literally the only thing I need at this point. I mean, if azder finds Fire Rod here, he's not going to get the gravity suit. He's just going to kill Dragon. He's not going to bother going over there. Maybe I can. Maybe he would do like, Lower Norfair and then just pick it up on the way out and then do Meridia. Like I could see that. That would make some sense. But
yeah, I think that makes a little more sense. Andy, meanwhile, opening up Turtle Rock is going to go in. Ideally, you get locked out right away because Fire Rod.
Yeah, I actually really like doing Fire Rodless.
Yeah, I do
Turtle
too.
Rock. It's almost like 90% of the time it kicks you out right away. We've all seen stuff in this first chest.
It is a pendant, so it doesn't really matter. I kind of like if it's a crystal dungeon. I kind of like it to kick me out at the chain chomps, and it's gonna kick him out right away. So nothing there. Just because then when I have to go back, the chain chomp room is just already open. But in a pendant dungeon, it just doesn't matter because you're hopefully never going to go back in there again.
And Andy had the possibility to maybe get all the way to Mimic Cave there with the mirror too. So yeah, I definitely like the check. It's pretty quick.
Oh, you can get all the way down to Laser Bridge if there's no keys on the right side.
Yeah, I'm just saying specifically for Andy to do it. Like, if there was a chance it was in the clip. Yeah, as they're doing the Icebreaker here, I'm having a little trouble with it. It does end up getting it. Not a big deal, because he doesn't have Fire Rod. He doesn't have to worry about saving magic. You can just do the Bombos for Cold Stare here.
Yeah, the bigger issue for Cold Stairs, he's only going to be on that Master Sword. I'll make it a more difficult fight. But of course, as your veteran of the low percent, with the 3 hearts, he should be fine.
Yeah, I mean, Azer's also done like the low SM stuff. Like just like doing the low stuff, I think is really helpful for the randomizers, because it really teaches you, especially if the low a Link to the Past stuff, because like so many of the Link to Past like NMG strats, it's like, oh, just like damage boost off of this, do this. It's like, it's not quite Oko, but like you can't really just damage boost through stuff because you will just die. So I think it really teaches you like to think on your feet a lot, and Andy's really good at that too. I've watched Andy play, and like he's like screwed up a strat or something, and he just like recovers very smoothly from it. When I'm just looking, it's like I would have eaten it so hard there.
Yeah, so far not a whole lot in Ice Palace, unfortunately for azder. We're getting a Spike Cave check from Andy.
So, yeah, I think Azder's kind of running out of places it could possibly be at this point. The Fire Rod. So the dream may be dead. It's just going to be in Meridian. It's going to be sad.
Yeah, I think after he does this, he probably goes and checks out the desert area and mire area. And then we'll see if he does like Dark Death Mountain and stuff, the checks that Andy's just did. In fact, Andy's right now in the mire area, so we should find out very shortly whether we do need those boots or not. For what it's worth, Quake to get into mire. So Quake for both our medallion dungeons. But yeah, it's funny how backwards this whole thing is, because we do see, like we said before, Azder, the stronger SM runner, has pretty much not been able to do much in there at all. Andy, the stronger Link to the Past runner, has definitely done more SM. Yeah, and this is going to be the mire play from, or sorry, the desert play from Azder as well. He'll do these checks that Andy's just did.
Yeah, we've been so fascinated by Azder's potential ability to get go mode morph. We've kind of been ignoring Andy a little bit,
which is unfair because Andy's running a really good race here. So
yeah, well, it's just like he's got a lot of interesting decisions too. Like, because I mean, he's got so much more open. It really looks like that. It really depends on when he makes that Norfair play.
Yep.
Besides that, he pretty much has everything Azder does. We know Swamp is pretty much a bust. We know, okay, well, Boots are not required, unfortunately.
So we do need Boots and Fire Rod. We will be able to check the right side of desert, though, and see if there's anything there. And we get a missile pack. As you're seeing that big key, knowing he needs the boost as well. And a spring ball. Okay. Well, we got both items.
A little upset when he sees that spring ball, I think.
Yeah, not like spring ball in normal mode just really doesn't do much for us. It actually could be logically required in hard mode, but doesn't open anything up in normal.
Yeah, but it's like high jump, where it's just nice to have, especially if you don't have morph ball bombs.
Sure.
You don't have to use your power bombs for all those little one tile gaps to get out of. You can just spring ball jump out of it. So yeah.
And there's the fire rod. Oh my god.
So I mean, that doesn't.
I bet he checks it. I bet he goes and checks that. Like, why not? Like, morph ball could be there.
He can't check it.
Oh, because he has screw attack. He needs screw attack.
Yeah, as I'm saying, I was about to say, screw attack could potentially be somewhere and keep the dream alive. But
yep.
God, it's possible that's literally the only thing that's required. I mean, we need the boots now. We know that.
Okay, so Azder, where are you gonna go next? I mean, he's running out of locations. He's got, like I said, Pyramid, Catfish, Zora, Graveyard Ledge, and now he's gonna do Dark Death Mountain.
Yeah, I think this is the right call. There's just 6 items up there. You can get everything.
Yeah, this will get him back. I mean, he's gonna last location then Morph Ball. It's gonna feel bad, but hopefully he takes it and just starts going through and doing SM bosses.
Well, here's like. The thing is, like, I always feel like if you can do Ridley, like, you should do it as soon as possible, because, like you said, Ellen's very linear, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So it's, especially with all the equipment, Azder's not going to be worried about having, like, low equipment or anything. Just might as well do that one first. He's going to find his fire.
Yeah, I don't like what I see Andy doing. He's not going and doing Lower Norfair. He's going. Oh, what did we miss over there at the GT location?
He didn't even check it. He's just going around.
Well, he killed GT.
Did he? I completely.
Yeah.
Is it the boots?
Oh, chat's saying wave beam. That's not worth it. It's not worth it
at all in the slightest.
No, I would never go. No, no, I totally don't go back for wave beam. That's an odd choice.
Yeah, that's really weird.
Like, obviously he can gate. Yeah, well, I assume he can gate glitch, if needs be. Like, there's no. I mean, Just knowing it's available tells you it's in logic, so you don't worry about it after that.
Yeah, it's like a minute and a half time loss for anyone who has fallen down these blocks here.
Yeah.
In Hundo.
Oh, or when it is actually an item that you need there.
Yeah, it's a very, very weird decision by Andy. It gets him full beam. Full beam's nice, but I mean,
his beam. It's a 20-shot mother brain fight versus a 30-shot mother brain fight, but you know you've got a lot of ammo to supplement that. So looks like Azder's also going to do the quick turtle rock check. And we'll see if he ends this with Spike Cave. But honestly, I mean, a lot of this is going to depend on how Azder routes once he gets that morph ball. He's going to get it soon. He is running out of locations. You'll check this, probably check Spike Cave, and then they'll have, like I said, Pyramid, Catfish, Zora, Graveyard Ledge. And they kind of all path in together. Gets that big key, and he'll mirror right back on out. Oh, someone pointing out Smith Chain. Yeah, so we do have a few other places. We'll see what he chooses to do. Does need to mirror to the light world before using that flute, though. Oh, this could be unfortunate. This could be the Meyer play.
Well, or it could be Boots in here. Or it could be...
Or it could be changing his mind. Nah, he's changing his mind.
He might be pulling the nose up here. Nope. I was thinking maybe just pull the nose up and...
nah, I think we're doing Smiths.
Smiths. This will end up probably at Pyramid afterwards. I can't see.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless he... well, would not Fire Rod. I mean, he's not going to... There's no way he's going to bail on Screw Attack and go like, I'm going to go check the, you know, vanilla Screw Attack location with that. You know, I never realized that you need Screw Attack to check Screw Attack if you don't have more.
I know, right?
I never put that together. And he's actually a little low health here. Gonna get some back from these pirates. Doesn't have quite as much damage with Varia.
Yeah, Andy has that grapple beam though, so he could farm for whatever he needs.
Looks like he's just gonna take it a little cautiously here.
And we are going to get the slow hammer pegs. Now, you know, if Azder gets Boots out of this, that'd be pretty big.
Yeah, he would need to find that Screw Attack for the Dream to be alive, unfortunately. But again, like, you know, you think like, oh, Azder's got to do all of this. It's like, you know, Andy hasn't found anything. I feel like the likely thing to do is to start with Ridley. He's going to get, that Fire Rod right away, and then that could be. I mean, Boots could be in Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, it's going to come down to it. Really is going to come down to those Boots. And if Azder finds them in the meantime doing these checks, like Azder's almost full clear Link to the Past at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the most likely place for Boots is probably just in Meridia at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
We've seen so much else of it that Gravity really hasn't opened anything up. The Fire Rod isn't really blocking all that much. I mean, it could be deeper in Turtle Rock. Honestly, if it's deeper in Turtle Rock, I know Azder likes that play during the Turtle Rock play, but like, it's just that Azder will probably do most of SM at that point. Like Azder needs to skip like chunks of SM at this point to be able.
Oh yeah, and that's the kind of thing he does when in this situation. Okay, now we're getting the Meyer play.
Wow,
still just doesn't want to go to that pyramid.
I think he's thinking like if it's there, but again, I don't think he's necessarily thought it through. Where it's like he does have so much done. If it is pyramid, you know, it's. I mean, it's kind of hard to make that call. It definitely feels like a thing where it's like if it's there, you're going to lose, so just don't worry about it.
Yeah, that could be his thinking.
Yeah, at this point with azder going into Meyer, like he needs boots to be here, or potentially. I mean, if Screw Attack is here, he will 100% check.
Absolutely.
At this point, like this is probably the one place it could be where he would actually go check Screw Attack and make it a priority.
And this is the green pendant, so that also might get him. If he does full clear this, this also gets him closer to that pyramid. And let's keep in mind, on Andy's side, he's going to get this gravity suit when he gets out of here. But will he check Croc and get his flippers? And that is definitely a question. We'll need those. Like, I feel like if I got a gravity suit, I might be inclined to skip the Crocomire check.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. That's probably the hardest thing for Annie to find. Assuming, you know, boots are not here in Meyer or something like that.
Yeah, if boots are in Meyer, then wow. It'd be a while before Andy gets back there. That would be, I mean, that would be ideal for azder. That's what he's hoping for, of course. It's tough though, because Meyer is only two. It's only 2 items, and it's like 3 keys. You know, so many dungeon items in Meyer.
Yeah, I mean, I think the 2 ideals here are either boots are in here or Screw Attack is in here and boots are behind Fire Rod.
Yep.
Because again, like once he gets that Fire Rod, he's going to be thinking, oh, I'll do Pyramid Fairy, and then he's going to find the Morph Ball right there, like.
Yep. Now 1 item down. And we'll see if he decides to finish this out for that green pendant. If he gets the items without going to Vidi. Okay, gonna not do the cutscene at this point. Don't blame him for that. That's such a slow part of the check. Gets his big key. Gets the 2nd item, so he doesn't have to do the cutscene. Let's see if he can. He's not mirroring out, so he's going to go get that green pendant. And it looks like Andy's about to get his gravity suit. And this will be kind of a low percent Vidi fight. We don't have silver arrows. Azder well versed in this fight with the Master Sword, though.
Yeah, Master Sword and 40 arrows with the bow. Again, yeah, we still have the arrow and bomb capacity upgrades here, so can definitely help finding some of that stuff. Yeah, I do believe some of them have been taken out. There aren't as many as there used to be, but yeah, they're still there. So yeah, you end up with like 60 arrows at some point. So it's very odd compared to playing Link to the Past by itself. Oh, and Andy face planting into that Spazer beam. That feels bad. Okay, so nothing else in Upper Norfair. So we are pretty much down to Meridia and these other few checks that Azder has for, you know, that green pendant turn into that pyramid. For those boots. Not a whole lot left. I think you're right. I think it's gonna just show up in Meridia. Yeah, I don't really see where else it could be at this point.
Okay, as you're going to switch to arrows, he's down to only 2.5 hearts there.
Yeah, if you know what you're doing over here, though, this is pretty safe. You can see Azzer just going to clean this up pretty nicely here.
And still has 21 arrows left, so he's fine. See if he turns that in first, or if he starts. I mean, because he's got nothing left. Nothing.
I mean, if you're gonna go this far out of the way, like you're just gonna auto hand that in.
Yeah, I think so. Vanilla boots, maybe. And you can also get to the Dark World from that area, so you could mirror. You know, you can flute to 5, go to the Dark World there, and then turn in from there. Yeah, see, he's going straight there.
Yeah, and unfortunately for the dream to be alive, Screw Attack would have to show up somewhere too, which is looking pretty unlikely at this point.
Yep.
But again, if he finds boots, again, I feel like the most likely thing is start Ridley, and then he's just gonna end up and go. Like.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. Andy, on the other hand, is doing Crocs, so he's gonna get those flippers. Oh, baby!
Oh,
wow!
No.
Boots on socks. Wow!
Azzer Azzer went from like, if we had like the percent winning graph, I feel like he went from like a 2% chance to like 90.
Oh my god! Andy's not
98%.
Yeah, Andy's not doing that anytime soon. Andy is not doing that anytime soon. He's gonna full clear Meridian. He's not gonna get those boots. Oh my god!
Well, I mean, he's still. I mean, at this point, he's just.
Azzer still needs to get his morph ball, though.
He still needs to get his morph ball. I mean, at this point, he's not going to find Screw to be able to completely Cosmic Brain it. But like, I think he's going to get that morph ball pretty soon after this. He's just going to be out of.
I think you're right. You just go do Ridley. Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, I like that is. If you have this late of a morph ball, I don't see it making, especially with Flute and Mitts, starting with any boss besides Ridley, especially with Charged Plasma, like. That's just the most sensible place.
Just do Ridley. Well, and it's like we've been saying all along. It's such a linear part of the game. There's nothing else that's as linear as that Ridley play.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing, if you're in Go mode, you can do the reverse. Obviously, that's something which Azzer would stumble into, doing that. But like, that's not something you really play for. You don't really play it off for that one reason.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does benefit from Go moding, but not really all that much. Like Dragon is also a quick kill, but it's like you'd have to kill Dragon and then like kind of decide to abandon. Oh, and that's that. He doesn't technically have the gravity suit, so like his thought is probably going to be, I'm gonna do Ridley.
Lower Norfair to upper.
Right.
Lower to upper, get the gravity suit,
right.
then you're good to go the rest of the game.
Right. I was like, I might as well do lower Norfair, grab the gravity suit on the way out.
I can't see another play.
Yeah. So he's
gonna. Looks like.
Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say he's gonna exhaust all of his checks here, which is almost out. He's gonna get that morph, and then he's gonna get his fire rod. I'd be shocked if it went any other way. I feel like the question now is, does he bother to pick up the gravity suit? I feel like yes, it's gonna help him.
I think it's so on path.
On the way.
Yeah, like you just go to lower Norfair, you get your fire rod.
I mean, like technically you could reverse out, right, and then just backdoor like that. I think that would be quote unquote optimal, but like
not without a gravity suit though. Like that. I mean, you can absolutely get through that acid room with just a various suit, but
that's a good point.
You lose a ton of time compared to what it would be with the gravity suit. So you're not really going to do that. So quietly, Azder's got 6 dungeons cleared to Andy's 2.
Yeah, I mean, Andy, I can't believe spiking the morph ball early was the bad thing to do in this seed. Like, that is shocking.
Okay, Azder's gonna do boost checks first. This is fine.
I mean, the other thing is, like, it really opened up. It opened up so many of these SM. I mean, it did allow Andy to like do everything more efficiently. Like he didn't have to like do this like weird double dip of Brinstar and everything. But like just everything else. I mean, and he's probably thinking he's fine. Like
to be clear, Andy's route has been really good.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with his route. It's just.
This is an ultra cosmic brain by Az. Like I don't think it's necessarily like planned. It's just like he just thinks that the morph ball is deep. Which makes again like I 100% check.
Oh, gets a tempered sword. That'll be useful.
Wow.
Because I don't think he's getting the Bryn Loop tempered sword that Andy got. He's gonna check Lumberjack. I mean, why not? The hour 35 Lumberjack check from azder. Yeah, and meanwhile, Andy's gonna full clear Meridia. And he's got so many more nice checks in Link to the Past right now, because he's got all those crystal dungeons that he has not cleared. He's not going to Misery Mire anytime soon.
Yeah, speaking of Andy doing the shoutouts to azder check right there.
Okay, now we're going to the Dark World. This will be the pyramid check.
Yeah, and so all it's going to come down to, if he makes that move to lower Norfair first, it's pretty much as good as
done.
Yeah, good as over. He's got to be shocked to see this here. Like I can't believe that he got everything in the seed without morph.
Everything with that fire rod. Oh my god.
And this was in Logic so early. This was like in Logic as soon as you had. I mean, you had a little running around for for Dark World access, but you could have gotten this literally first thing. And there it is.
Yeah, I mean, he could have, like we said earlier, when he went to Pod, he went right away to Pod. He could have just gone the route to Pod, where you'd go through Flute 4 instead of Flute 5.
Going to.
Nah, he's changing his mind.
I think he's thinking Norfair and just went to the wrong spot.
Yeah, he's going Norfair. Yeah. There it is. This is going to put. Oh my god.
It's going to put him at a 130.
I have never this. This is such a crazy route for a crazy seed. Oh my god.
I mean, Andy's got to be feeling.
Andy's got to be feeling great.
His route has been so clean. He's got to think like, finding that morph ball on pedestal or on pyramid. Excuse me. Like that's something that's azder may miss, so he's got to feel like if azder missed that, then I'm in golden shape, because like there's no way you're sitting there thinking it was like, well, technically the only thing that actually required morph ball was fire rod. Like you'd never think that. You just like, oh, there's a bunch of stuff in SM.
At 137.21, that is go mode for azder. And I will point out, I will point out he is on 3 tanks, so he's gonna have to be careful in lower Norfair. This is where his low percent experience is gonna pay off. His low percent SM experience.
I didn't even put that together. He's got so little energy. I mean, he's
like, where were all the E tanks? I guess all the E tanks are in SM, because I don't recall him skipping any E tanks in Link to the Past.
I mean, he's still 4 tanks any percent, right? Or does he 3 tank it?
He 3 tanks it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yep. He's got the reserve. But he's got a better beam combo. Like he does new route, so he's got a plasma beam he wouldn't normally have. Plus, you don't usually, like, he's got all these supers for the Ridley fight that you wouldn't have in any percent as well. So he'll be able to do a combination super plus plasma Ridley fight.
I'm surprised he just didn't do the any percent strat right there. Maybe just flubbed it a little and just backed up into that.
Meanwhile, we're getting a Shactual check from Andy.
Yeah, I mean, like this shot, like Andy again had just an insane time last seed at the 219. azder might be beating that right here.
He might
definitely beating that.
As long
he's 100% beating that. He's got 1 dungeon to do. all the
and it's Skull Woods, which is super quick. You just go to the back.
Yeah, Skull Woods is gonna go quick to the back. Like this. God, is this gonna be an 09? This could be a race world record, if not a world record.
This could.
I mean, this is how you get like the really fast times. You just don't do SM. It is the way it works, basically, and that's what azder did. Like, it's just shocking that there was so much in SM for him to be able to do this.
So much in SM that he could get to with the items he had.
Yeah, remember when we thought that bow might be the difference maker in this?
All right.
Oh, how young we were. He's doing the super. He's not doing the. Does he not have speed? He has speed.
He's got speed. Yeah, I don't know why. He knows how to do that strat. I don't know why he didn't do it.
Yeah, you want to conserve your supers here for the Ridley fight. I mean, he's got he's got charged plasma, but those supers are definitely gonna be faster. He's not even farming, so just going straight in.
Yeah, for every super missile he doesn't have, it'll be 2 shots with this charge beam, because super missiles, of course, do double damage, but it's the same amount of damage normally as this beam combo. So he'll start. I like that he's starting with the beam. He'll switch to supers when it's the right time. If he gets Ridley in a pogo, he'll switch to supers there too. Yeah, now Ridley's in that pogo, so real good time to just fire off those supers, and looks like Ridley's dead. There we go.
Real nice fight. We'll see if he peaks the E-Tank here. He's got silvers. He never found Ice Beam either. So
no, I don't even remember where Ice Beam was. Does he not have Ice Beam? Okay, so actually it's more shots than that. It's a 40-shot fight with just a plasma beam. But he's got enough. Power bombs to get through Turian, so he'll be fine. And he might grab some of these items on the way out that are pretty quick. I don't remember what any of them are though.
Yeah, he does have charged plasma, so he'll be able to get through it. His 3 musketeers is gonna be a little weird because he's gonna get slowed down by the acid a little bit. Andy with the full halfie, very nicely done by him.
Very nice.
You don't see the full halfie too often in Combo Rando because you just so often see players coming in through the back door.
Or you don't have the items to do it with. Yeah, he's just going to be careful here. I think this is smart. These key hunters can get you real quickly.
I mean, he sees what time it is. He sees where that, like, he's got to think he's got all the time in the world, like, to finish this up. Like, it's you just feel like Andy would have stumbled into that at some point, and is just going to be doing all this Super Metroid stuff. I mean, not even that, not even like playing the meta of like what the game is. Just like looking at your time, like it'd be pretty inconceivable for anyone to be doing it faster.
Check this item because it's no door transition. It's bomb capacity upgrade. He doesn't care. I'll probably take this part careful too.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense.
Like he's perfectly capable of going through these key hunters without doing this, but like you said, he's looking at his time. He's got a Varia suit, not a gravity suit. These key hunters will do 100 damage in this situation, so you just don't want to blow it here.
Yeah, and they can double hit you if you get hit. I mean, the big thing, like, if you look at like the 80% strat, he would have gravity, which would slightly change the timing coming into that, so like it wouldn't be exactly the same setup that he would normally have. And the way those key hunters work, they're technically deterministic, but like any little tiny movement that Samus does changes it. So it's basically like chaos theory on them. Where they can just be in very different locations with any slight changes.
Now Azder's going to go back and grab his gravity suit.
Yeah, my gravity suit. I'm a little disappointed he's bothering to get this, honestly.
No, we don't need another suitless Meridian.
Yeah, but this one's not even. He doesn't even have to do the whole thing. You just kill Dragon and leave.
Yeah. And does the shine spark back out? Doesn't quite make it.
Okay, I was about to say I've never seen it. I was like, this is gonna work because.
Yeah, it doesn't work as well as.
I don't think you'd have had the health to do this whole thing if it did work.
And meanwhile, I hate to say I'm not even seeing what Andy's all picking up in Meridia, but he is still clearing it just like we said he would.
I mean, like, again, Andy's had a very nice run here. It's been like I haven't seen any problems. It's just I've been so fascinated by what azder is doing.
Seriously, apologies to Andy. I feel like we've given a little short shrift. He's doing really well.
Andy gets so much attention, though. It's fun.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But I mean, you think about it. When you think about the best, like azder is definitely up there as one of the best of the SMZ3's players. Asi, another one. azder won the very first tournament that was run for SMZ3, the one in summer of 2018. That one was not on Speed Gaming, but I
mean, like literally
and
anyone.
And then came the second, the last one. So
literally anyone in this tournament besides me could have won the thing. So like, yeah, it's just all really good players in this.
Oh, for sure. Well, you could have won. I mean, it could happen. You know.
Do you see the decisions I make? They're not good.
I did question maybe not skipping so many heart containers, but other than that...
Was I skip? I had red mail. Like, it wasn't a problem until I just completely spaced on that. Like.
And azder with a nice quick kill.
Yeah. So I do believe what would be quicker here. We'll see what azder does, but I'm almost. I did time this once. What's actually gonna be faster is if he just backdoors Meridia after Ganon here. But he may just 80% it and go all the way up.
You might.
Actually,
honestly, with his movement items, it's with honestly, I'm not convinced. It's probably pretty.
Yeah, now that I'm thinking that he's got to do Fantoon and everything. No, yeah. Actually, I think this might be faster because I was just looking at a vacuum. But like, he could basically. He's GT classic.
Yeah,
what he's doing.
Exactly. That's
exactly. You just go to the bottom. You just go to the bottom and come all the way up.
Yep.
The only thing you do there is and he is just gonna go up here
because the back door is good and all, but it's slow to get there.
But we're gonna see a route we never see in Rando, which is like I'm pretty sure he's not gonna take the Meridia exit. He's going to take the any % route out because I think that might actually be faster. Maybe not. No, probably not because you can just reset to the ship and that's so fast.
Yeah, I know. I think you're right. I think what you do here is you go kill Dragon, just like he's doing, and then you take the back door out. Mirror, do your Skullwoods, do your GT, then do Fantoon before.
If that's the case, then I'm still pretty sure that because I didn't like time it myself. I raced Cutie doing it, so like it wasn't like my SM. It wasn't my SM movement. It was
okay.
Cutie
Cutie's
going around. So.
Cutie's movement in SM is just a titch better than yours.
Yeah, titch better than
you got him big time on ALTTP though.
Yeah, but so yeah, it was a fair comparison. I'll say that, and I was still faster to go backdoor. The main thing is this
town.
This bot wound, just it doesn't feel too bad, but it does take some time.
It's your as when you run around it with supers.
Let's see this full halfie from azder.
He's more than capable of doing it.
Yeah, full heavy is one of those things it's all it is just clean movement. There's no trick to it. It's just have clean wall jumps and do a down grab and like shoot the door open early. It's like so once your movement kind of like reaches a certain threshold, it becomes I don't want to say free, but it becomes pretty automatic.
And you see azder is checking some of the on path items. Does not want a mirror shield, so he didn't pick that up.
Yeah, I mean he's looking for ice beam and
really any beam with Spazer helps him.
Yeah, he never went into GT.
Silvers would be nice.
Yeah, silver's and ice beam are the two big things. He's not gonna find. He's not gonna find ice beam. He's not gonna find wave beam. He may find silvers.
Silvers could be in GT, so yeah, he might find those.
Yeah, he obviously doesn't know that, but. I mean, what does Andy need from Go? I don't. Again, we've just been so fixated.
Andy needs boots.
He needs. Oh, that's right, boots and that. I forgot about the boots.
And he's not getting them until really late.
Honestly, this could be because the boots were in a troll location and azder skipped so much. Like azder could beat Andy by like 30 to 40 minutes, honestly. Like, it's not because that could be a last location for Andy easily.
Oh, for sure. I think it will be. I mean, are you gonna do Smith Chain? Or are you gonna do Meyer? Yeah, Green Pendant Meyer. You're gonna do your crystal count. You're gonna do Meyer. As you're finishing off Dragon. Like, you know, Andy's going to exhaust all his crystal dungeons. And then if he's, you know, then he's got choices, which will be Smith Chain, which is ugly. Misery Mire for Green Pendant, which is ugly. I don't think he's done like Graveyard Ledge, which is, you know, ugly, you know, way out of the way.
His one saving grace is, God, unless he stumbles into this Ice Rod somehow. He can't do Turtle. I mean, well, he can do most of Turtle Rock. So
he can. Oh yeah, he can totally do Turtle Rock, but he's already dipped the first chest.
Yeah, especially that's a good point. Especially if he ends up knowing that Ped isn't a thing, then he's not going to really be worried too much about Trinex.
Yep, exactly.
And then Turtle Rock's just so many more checks, and he didn't get an item, so it's still 6 checks in there with Mimic Cave. So he may be thinking that over Meyer, which is, I mean, it is 3 because of the Green Pendant. Yeah, so we're going to finish off Skullwoods. Probably going to do, definitely going to do all of A Link to the Past here. Mother Brain is faster first if you are fully equipped. So you have full beam, you have high jump, you have speed to do Baby Skip. You can do full beam, you can do. I guess the stand up here doesn't, because he's not going to find 40 tanks. Like, so stand up just comes out in the wash there. But it does skip the escape sequence, so you do have less lag, and then you don't have to go all the way to the ship. So it's like 10 to 15 seconds faster. But you'd only ever do it if you're fully armed.
Yeah, for sure.
Is not here. So
there are a few other situations where you do it. Azure in particular has been known for this. I do it on occasion where if you're checking like last location waterway or something and checking that.
Yeah,
and your combination maybe isn't perfect, but it's still good enough. Sometimes you'll see runners do SM first. But yeah, the reason you do Link to the Past reason we like to do Link to the Past first in general is you hope to grab some of those nice luxury items for SM out of GT, because if they don't gate anything for progress, they can all be in GT. I mean, Speed Booster in situation here, no, but in other situations can be in GT, for instance, and you know, High Jump can be in GT, and those are very good items to have, and you prefer to do the Mother Brain fight and Turian with those. Yeah,
I do like the waterway check into the Mother Brain, but even then, you still want to be fairly well equipped because you can just reset to the ship, and it just kind of comes out in the wash that way. So like, I wouldn't do it in like a low situation, but like maybe if I was missing, like I couldn't do a Baby Skip, I didn't have High Jump, like maybe I would do it in that situation. But yeah, in Azur's mind, he's, you know, he could still find Ice Beam. I guess really is the main thing he's looking for at this point. That's going to speed up his Mother Brain, or his Turian, excuse me. So definitely going to clear out GT. Won't find it there, we know that. So he's going to have a little bit of a slow Turian.
The only thing he can get at this point, like we said, is those Silver Arrows could be in GT for him. But so, nothing else to help him in SM.
Yeah, so this isn't going to be a world record then. Or wait, no, is my math terrible? No, my math's fine. It's about 20 minutes in endgame, and he's got to do Fantune. So
we got to find that big key.
Yeah,
it's still going to be a really good time.
This is probably going to be the fastest of the tournament. He's probably going to beat Andy's 119 here. It should be. But yeah, they're not gonna get a world record here.
Yeah, I mean, so many things.
Maybe with like a torch.
Like, torch. Oh, hey, look! There's a screw attack. Go sit there, Magic Bat. Powder was in Blue Bryn, behind the power bombs. Like, you know, the item to the left to the right. It was the item to the right of Morphball.
The item to the. Oh, in the ceiling?
No, to the left.
Oh, okay. So he couldn't get that without.
No.
Where's Mushroom? Do we see mushroom?
I don't recall seeing a mushroom.
I'm just wondering if you could have done the full cosmic in this seed.
Yeah, no, it looks like you can't. That fire rod just ruined it all.
Yeah, and it was just so tantalizing close too. Like,
yeah, it really was.
Yeah, so we'll see what I mean. Azder's got to feel. I mean, I would say he feels really comfortable. Just like weirdly, it still probably feels bad that he left that morph ball for so long.
Yeah, I can't wait to get him in here to talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, like, literally just change one thing. If you change.
Oh my god! And the big key was 2. We didn't even get to.
Okay.
No,
well,
go. Nope, not gonna get.
I still don't see this being. I mean, especially with the turn. The turn is going to be like 8 minutes. It's like 6 minutes. That's like 14 minutes to the end of this.
Yeah.
And then he's got to do Fantune. So yeah, it's just.
Yeah, no, he's still
it's
just
not quite there.
And hopefully he remembers he has to do Fantune.
Yeah, that's
that is a thing that does happen on occasion.
It's like
when you get to SM, you think you're ready to just go to Mother Brain.
Yeah, like Fantune and Dragon are the ones you'll see get left. Dragon, because you just backdoor right after Ganon.
Yep.
And then Fantune, you've just never did Wreck Ship. You know, you just do it at the end here. So yeah, it's kind of like the. Well, there's the mushroom. So you could have done it.
Oh yeah. No, you couldn't have. That book was up in Wreck Ship.
Oh, that's where the book was. Okay.
Yeah, it was in the worker rubber room.
So, Azder officially big brained this as humanly possible. Big brained it.
Best he could.
Without.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't even really like use overworld glitches to cheat to it because like where the you could get up there, you just couldn't. You couldn't get the book item.
Meanwhile, Azure in the gauntlet. Much better health sitting here in Link to the Past than he has in SM.
Yeah, kind of hilarious. I guess all of the health items were in the game.
Yeah, in the game they were in, yeah. And Andy gonna do Ice Palace now, which makes a lot of sense.
So, I mean, Azder's kind of cosmic brain both his seeds with that suitless. I mean, it didn't pay off for him last time, but he did still come up with the win. And of course, you know, him and Andy were playing the same seed last time. Andy did win that one.
Yes, he did.
Even though it doesn't count for the tournament, it was just really just for viewing to squeeze all these matches into one day. But you know, the bragging rights still count. But
absolutely,
this is going to be pretty. I mean, fastest time of the tournament too is going to be pretty big bragging rights, and we're going to have 2 sub-20s, which is just absolutely insane.
I'm going to call out Aussie and Wild if you're listening. Gotta up your game, as that will be the next match after this one is over.
Yeah, meanwhile, me and Maniacal are going to get the Duns Cap Awards for this tournament. I had the correct Cosmic Brain in mind, too. That's what's really upsetting, is I had it, and I screwed it up. Not quite as cosmic as this one.
Not as much as this one. Just refused to go with that pyramid, and it turned out to pay off so well.
Well, like I said it early, it's just like when you get like so many, like you keep getting like the breadcrumb trail like this.
Yep.
It just feels so unlikely that something as big as like Morph would just be sitting out in the open.
Yeah.
Like you're always worried about like things that are like small lockers, like a medallion or like Samaria or Ice Rod. Like those could be anywhere, right? But something like Myths or Moon Pearl or like something that locks a lot, right? You never think that's just like, if the game keeps giving you stuff, you never just think that's just sitting out in the open. And it was in this, and it just, if you put that morph, if you actually made this like a actual late morph seed, where just Andy couldn't get to it and just couldn't do any of SM, completely changed how this race would turn out. But just
absolutely.
And we thought finding that morph ball was huge for Andy. It was such a big lead for such a long time, but like that and like honestly, you wouldn't do Meyer.
The Fire Rod. Fire Rod was literally the only thing behind Morph Ball. Everything else was not. Everything else was just Azure was able to get it. You know, either in SM or in Link to the Past. That was just absolutely crazy.
I really wish we could see the playthrough of the seed to see what the seed thought it was doing. Like, I want to know if it was like, if it literally placed that morph ball last, or it placed it first and it just on accident didn't place anything that was hard required by morph ball.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, either is possible. Like, it almost feels like. I mean, it could be that because it just like picks locations in random. So if it just picks the morph ball last and just puts it out in the open, you know, it could just. Yeah, that is just so weird.
Okay, as you're going to go in with 4.5 hearts and Tempered Sword, no silvers, he should be fine. I mean, he's done this 3 hearts Master Sword many times, so you will have to be a little careful, but he should be fine.
Andy doing a nice. It still doesn't have. I mean, that too. Like, just not having the boots for all this. I mean, I guess azder didn't have boots for most of Link to This either, but it was a little dangerous here on Ganon. Should be fine though.
Okay, just needs to avoid these fire bats. It'll be fine. He's past the worst of it. When you get that fire bat stomp like that, you kind of hope for a few extra warps, to be honest. So you just get them cleared out for the next slash phase. Azur's going to want to get that torch glitch. Looks like he's going to go for an early shot here. And the silver arrows were in Ganon's tower, but considering where the big key was, probably wasn't going to get him even if he checked all the chests up top.
Yeah, and just playing it safe with the lame torch glitch here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Little surprising, but again, tournament race, like, I mean, just again, he's got to feel pretty comfortable. Don't want to just lose gobs of time here, so just play it safe.
I'm gonna switch over to Fire Rod now. It's a little easier to get triples with the Fire Rod. It's hard to get triples with the lamp.
Well, there's just some patterns where it's impossible. Like if he goes top
exactly.
right, you just can't do it.
Yep.
Meanwhile, I don't even know what Andy is doing over here. Again, part of me feels bad, part of me is just like, eh. Wow, Andy. Yeah, I guess Andy has just never checked these checks here.
Nope.
So
Azure checked those way at the beginning.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't done Swamp yet. That's definitely location. He hasn't done. He's probably just gonna start checking off these dungeons here. He's gonna do Swamp Palace. He's gonna do Desert. Or not Desert. Excuse me. He's gonna do Skull Woods.
Yep.
And then I mean, I think he's ended up doing most of the overworld here. So, you know, at some point he's gonna have to make that call between Meyer or Turtle Rock.
Yep. Now let's see which way Azure goes. He's going to refill first. Good. That's very smart in this situation. Beam combo, not the best. And did he just take a save?
Yeah. That's fine. Like,
I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter because you'd go back to the ship anyway.
Oh, right. I was like, where's he going?
Oh, you forgot the wreck ship.
No, I forgot.
Unfortunately, I did not. But yeah, this Fantoon fight will be easy. Like, he's used to doing one tank, no suit.
Yeah, it's
3 tank
actually,
gravity suit is no problem.
The big thing with Fantoon is this: when you have Varia, it cuts the damage in half. So the big thing is every big energy that Fantoon drops gives you a hit on Fantoon.
Yep.
Without Varia suit, we're just going like any route. You need 2 drops for 1 hit.
Yep.
So it's not just a little bit. It's not just twice as safe. It's like exponentially safer.
Oh yeah, So that gravity suit 4 times. It's,
I come in here on like Hundo with like 60 health, and it's like that's 3 hits. That's equivalent of like 120.
Yep.
In new route, which is just a bunch, and even safer than that again because it's just you get free refills.
It's kind of a shame that the stats at the end do just the full-on item completion, not the separate item completions for each game. Because I would really like to see what Azur's SM item completion is versus the Link to the Past side.
I mean, it wasn't like SM was barren. We had Mitts in there, we had Mirror in there, we had Fire Rod in there, and I think that actually is it. And Flippers, yeah. It just, you didn't need more for any of that stuff.
Yeah,
so,
I know.
A Gravity was in there. So yeah, it's just an insane layout. Like, this is a Halloween Rage's
Phantoon. Also, yeah, someone asked me in chat about does he have enough ammo. Of course, he's got charge beam, so it doesn't matter. But shout outs to having that charge beam, because his ammo would be nowhere near enough without it. So. Yeah, and that one was also not behind Morph because it was sitting there in the ceiling in Blue Bryn.
Yeah. I mean, again, even like that's the thing about like these crazy fast seeds is at that point you're going to be low on ammo probably. So really to have like a really quick seed, you really need to have also found charge beam and probably some other beams too. Otherwise, your Mother Brain fight's just going to take forever.
As there's no reason to check any of these things. Meanwhile, Andy finishing up Skull Woods. I assume he'll do Swamp Palace next. And like you say, he'll have decisions to make.
Yeah, I mean, for him, again, we've been looking at Azure, so I don't really know how much overworld he's got left. But those two dungeons, especially both of them being Quake, definitely are going to be calling to him pretty strong. It almost comes out in the wash because like Turtle Rock is going to be twice as many items, but it's also probably twice as long.
Yep.
So I don't know. Maybe the green pendant sways him to do Mire. I think if Mire wasn't the green pendant, it'd be pretty likely to do Turtle Rock first. So we'll see what he ends up choosing.
Plus, without the ice rod, that's one less check he can do. So maybe the 3 items total for the green pendant.
Yeah, he does know it's not pet, so it's not like Trinex is required here.
Yeah, exactly.
Except for it specifically being on Trinex. But it could also, like, on Trinex, have the compass on the map or something. So there's always the chance of that. But even then, even worst case scenario, it's 5 versus 3. With the only the Doomsday scenario, of course, would be you need to find Ice Rod somewhere else for it to be there.
As you're starting his power bomb strats, he's got more than enough.
Yeah, you can actually. There actually is ways of speeding this up if you lay it specifically so it hits the Rinka, ends up aggroing all of them, and it does hit them.
Yeah, and that's what he's doing there.
Yeah, so very nicely done. The other thing is when you powerbomb them, it really is pretty annoying because they only give you 1 drop. They don't give you the full giant drops that they would normally. And they actually do a fair amount of damage if you're not careful here. Like if you just kind of like let them glom onto you.
Oh yeah.
I've
lost. You have to be careful with his health here.
Yeah, he definitely has to pay attention here. But one of the few runners in this is who's actually probably experienced with this specific strat and situation. Most other people this is something you don't really worry about. You just powerbomb everything and just deal with it.
And he probably won't even he might not even bother with Baby Skiff because his health is just 113 and he doesn't have Wave Beam and it's not going to take very long for to get the drain anyway.
It's still faster, so I wouldn't be surprised if he does go for it. He could just decide. Honestly, I almost feel he's going to go for it because like
without Wave Beam though. We'll see.
This is such a good time that I feel like he just wants to push it to see how low he can take it right now.
Nah, he's damaged himself down to 3. He's not going for it.
No, you will do it, right? If you're going to go for it, you might as well. Yeah, he's going for it.
He's going for it. Yeah.
No. Okay, never mind. But
without Wave Beam though, it's really it does make it harder without Wave Beam.
That's the way I've gotten the first time in a run. I didn't have because it forced me to slow down.
Oh yeah, nice.
Yeah. So the first time I got it was out wave, just because like you just had to do so many jumps that like it really stopped me from like rushing it. I was like, okay, well here you go. So what's going to be a rarity for for a combo rando? The Mother Brain fight is going to actually be a little nerve-wracking.
Be dangerous.
Here.
Yeah, this is a dangerous fight. It's a 40-shot fight with this beam combination, with this beam. He will probably supplement with some of his ammo.
Yeah, I believe supers are faster than anything besides full beam.
Yeah, supers and full beam are fairly equal. Optimally, I think it's a little faster with full beam combination, but you know, I always talk about that. The key word being optimally. If you can't do an optimally, you're better off with supers. But you know, in this case, yeah, he's gonna probably combine. You know, he's gonna have plenty of ammo left over that he'll use some of that.
Yeah, definitely. Even these Rinkas can be a little. He does have. I don't know how many reserves he had. I would assume just one.
I assume one. I know he has one because there was one in Eastern Palace. That's the only one I remember for sure.
Well, he definitely has at least one because
it's showing. Yeah.
Yeah. I can attest to that. So I guess even and like the thing I always forget is when is missiles actually faster. The only issue here is like when I do these missile fights, but like. It's really important to know when that first ketchup's going to come out, so it could screw up your counting here. But he's just going for it.
Pretty good at doing that math. I personally like to just save 15 supers, so that when the ketchup comes out, I know where I'm at.
Oh.
Well, he's got a full reserve.
Yeah. Well, he does need that reserve now.
Yeah, he does.
So shoutouts to reserve in combo
tanks,
rando in Mother Brain. That's
reserve tanks save lives.
Okay, he had one.
Yeah, just the one.
So what was Andy's time was 2:16? I thought it was like a 2:19, but I guess it was faster than that. This is gonna be really close. It's like 3 minutes or something from baby detach.
Yeah, we can't do stand-up with only 3 tanks. And Azder's not the biggest stand-up fan anyway. Sometimes he just doesn't bother doing it.
When like
here he would do it if he could, I think, but he doesn't always.
Yeah, just like when you're doing like such long races like this, like sometimes it's just nice to take a break.
Yeah.
You know, especially like A, if you already lost, or B, you in a situation where you think you just won by a lot, it's just like
And
but like and just like invitational with the quality of opponents here.
And
like,
can you imagine?
You would do it.
Yeah, let's go out of our way to pick up 4 extra E-tanks just to get the stand-up glitch. No, that's a total time loss.
I think that's the big. You don't really want to go out of your way to pick them up.
Yeah, exactly. If you get them, if they're on path, you pick them up. For stand-up, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, like you need the first 3. Generally, you want maybe like a couple extra just for safety. My main thing is before I have Vari, I'm always picking up ammo and E-tanks because I never know a LN hell run is going to be a thing. It's almost a shame Andy had this recorded because I really wanted to see just like the reaction to this time.
I know.
Like live. Like what the heck just happened? But I mean, this is the thing, like, especially the way it played out. I mean, the big thing was, you know, just not having to clear all that SM that Andy did. But just like, you know, when it's just like a one item in an off location, it just shows this game is so big. If someone gets it, you know, decides to go there early and the other person does it late, like it's just, you know, you're gonna have these big disparities in time. Honestly, when Andy ran this and finding the boots of Meyer, I mean, I guess depending if he's gonna do Turtle Rock or not, like he probably wouldn't even feel that bad.
No, well, I mean, seriously, I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, he'd be like, maybe I got a chance.
I might feel bad if I did Turtle Rock first.
Yeah, we'll see if he ends up.
But then, you know, if I made
the
decision to go to Meyer before Turtle Rock, I'd feel pretty good, you know. Just a little bit more to the escape here.
Yeah, the shaking screen makes this screen terrible to do. Oh yeah, and so the cane was actually hard required in this because of those boots. I didn't really necessarily think of that, but yeah, as they're coming in with a 2:15:06, just it's insane time for what ended up happening. So GG's to Asder. Yeah, so Azure will be moving on to the finals tomorrow, playing the winner of either Aussie or Wild. Either one is going to be a really good matchup. I feel like Azure, probably think to maybe be the early favorite out of this division. But we saw again, they played the same seed; it didn't matter. But Andy did have that really good time the first one, and Azure having a great time this time. We are now joined by Azure. GG's to you.
Yeah, congratulations.
What the hell just happened?
We don't. So we obviously saw more of it. We were at one point, we were rooting for Screw Attack to show up, that you can maybe just completely miss the Morph Ball. Ended up getting it last. Unfortunately, the boots kind of threw a wrench in that, but you ended up going to Meyer just because you ran out of things to do. But yeah, GG, that was a wild one to watch.
That logic chain was so awful that I was just absolutely convinced that Morph had to be behind Mitz.
Yeah.
Yep. You didn't. I mean, it was sitting there on the pyramid, and like, when is he going to go there? And we thought Andy had this big lead, but there was nothing behind the Morph Ball except that fire rod.
Yeah, we were talking about that when you get like these like breadcrumb chains. You think like maybe something like Ice Rod or something was sitting out early that you could have missed, but you never think like Morph Ball or like Hammer, like some of the big like progression items is just sitting out in the open that you just completely missed.
How did Just Defend's multi-world pyramid end up in my seed? Shoutouts to JD.
Yeah, we did at one point where we're looking, because you just kept progressing and kept getting the crystal dungeons done, and you kept getting the key items that were in SM. You kept getting those in those bad locations because you had the speed booster and you had certain items to get around. And at one point, I looked at the tracker and I'm like, what do we need for go mode? Fire rod, maybe boots. And of course, your Morph Ball.
We even put it because we saw Andy finding stuff in SM, and we even put it together like, well, technically none of this requires morph. Yeah. Andy is now going to Meyer. I'm pretty sure all he's got left is Meyer and Turtle Rock. So
pretty sure.
He's picking this up. So I was like, you had to have like remembered pyramid. Like, was the plan just don't do it because like one of the well, if it's there, I probably lost type situations because like you hard.
No, I 100% thought it wasn't there, and then when I got boots off of Green Pennant, I was like, okay, this must lead to Morph, and I did Desert, and I was like, oh yeah, Desert doesn't have any items. Okay, let's do the boots checks, and the boots checks had nothing, and I'm like, okay, well,
you get 3 checks left at that point.
I found a boots that might have been really hard to find, I guess, so that might still be okay. And then I found Morph on the pyramid, and I was kind of panicking. And I was just like, oh great, now I have like
all the
Yeah. Well, we knew it was because if you have that many, the first boss you're gonna do is Ridley, just because it's so linear, right?
I needed to re-get gravity too.
Right. Yeah. Especially because of that. Which, when you reset gravity, I actually thought it was a pretty bad decision because because of what potentially happened, right? Where you had speed, you had to come down to Croc, and then you'd have to go back up to Upper Norfair. It wasn't guaranteed you could have cleanly gotten it with Norfair later on, right? It could have been.
Gravity doesn't lock any non-morph checks.
I mean, I guess that's true. I don't know. It seemed like it could have been. Well, if you found morph, somewhere else, right? And you just didn't have gravity, and then you would have to go back to get, because you didn't have a space jump at that point either, right?
No, he did. I think he had.
I had space jump.
Okay, maybe.
Yes, high jump and space jump I think were pretty early.
Yeah.
Oh,
But
I think it was like 100% the right decision to reset Grav. Like I don't see a way that I could have used it.
there was something at the time
But it
where it was
worked
like, yeah, well, it worked out.
worked out. I mean,
what,
it would have made your lower Norfair a little bit safer. You definitely went a little bit slower than I'm used to seeing you going lower Norfair with 3 tanks and a barrier suit instead of 3 tanks and a gravity suit. But I think that comes out in the wash in the end. So
it was like SM Impossible lower Norfair escape.
Yep.
It's the same loadout.
Yeah, it's true, isn't it?
But yeah, it was just. I mean, we were looking at this, and like, it really felt like Andy had a really big lead with that morph ball, and then just the fact that none of it was, and you just kept getting progression. You kept doing stuff. We were saying like, we were thinking like, well, he's got to get that morph ball, and then he's gonna have to finish off this seed.
Like mirror at morph ball pedestal, and then speed booster on Spectral Rock, and then like very early. I'm just like, that has to be deliberate, right? And then mid some big, which speed booster unlocked. I'm just like,
I wish we had the playthrough to see what the seed, how it laid it out. If it actually placed that morph last, or it just like accidentally didn't put anything behind morph ball. Like, it was such a crazy layout. This seed of 37 minutes in SM. That's nutty.
The playthrough for SMZ3 is sorted by, like it counts as the earliest sphere that could possibly be accessible. So.
Oh, that's how it does it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So it's going to. Morph ball is going to be in the sphere after glove, I think.
Right, which isn't necessarily good. I just, like I said, I want to know how it generated. Which, I mean, either we don't have any access to that, so it's not like we can look it up anyways. But yeah,
I guess I'm just saying that you'd never be able to have that information, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, great, great run. I mean, did you feel behind at any point? Like,
I was panicking for. I was panicking that he hit on a better route to morph ball than I had, which I guess he did.
You did. To be fair.
He did right away.
But I was worried that he hit on a better path to a bad morph ball. And I didn't know how to feel for that entire seed. Like I didn't know how to feel even after I got go mode. I felt like probably pretty good, but I was just like I really had no idea.
I wanted to play out in a way that you would get Pyramid Fairy access, like if Desert wasn't boots locked, and then you go like, oh, I'm gonna do Pyramid Fairy, and you just see your morph ball.
Yeah, see the morph ball, yeah.
That wasn't happening.
Not this
It's
seed,
kind of funny because like when you went to pod right away when you got Dark World, and the option when you go to pod is you either flute to 4 and go through Pyramid to go to pod, or you flute to 5. And you both actually turned out to decide to flute to 5, but Andy kept going after pod and went and got his morph ball, whereas you just went on and moved on to, I believe, went down to Village of Outcast, the East Town.
Oh no way, he got it super early then.
He got a lot
early.
He got it
very early.
He's basically full cleared SM.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean,
I think I think he's full cleared SM.
Yeah, I mean, until the boot, if you were in Andy's shoes, right, until you ran into this boots problem, it's like you get the morph relatively early, right? You have like a nice clean playthrough of SM, right? You're just going through all the areas. He's got like high jump and speed, because he got speed relatively early too. Well, I guess he got it after mirror, but yeah, he's just like kind of going through. He collects. I mean, the mitts, mirror, fire rod, gravity suit. Like there was a bunch in SM. And like while you're playing it, you don't. There's no way if you were playing it like Annie was, you'd go like, yeah, none of that was actually behind morph. So I'm.
Yeah, you're not thinking that way.
Like, oh, I didn't need this morph ball. Like that's not a thought that would cross your head.
No, it's not. That's actually why I started to be so scared once I picked up the morph ball in the pyramid, because I was just like literally all of this was just coincidence.
Yeah,
and it's
completely.
not a pattern that you're gonna spot otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, and we did. So unfortunately, Screw Attack wasn't in any place where you could have actually gotten the fire rod, because Screw Attack was Magic Bat.
Yep.
Powder was power bombs behind Morph Ball. And Mushroom was. Where was Mushroom?
Mushroom was on Ether Tablet with Book in the attic.
Right. Yeah.
So you could.
If I had been able to get Screw Attack, I think what would have happened was I would have done Ganon's tower, and then looked at the side of the pyramid after killing Ganon.
Yeah, probably.
Yep.
That would have been
right.
I had a.
That would have been awesome. That would have been.
I had a randomizer
awesome.
receiver. I did Ganon's Tower Fighter Sword, and I found my Master Sword on Uncle. That would have been better than that.
Okay, so how did you feel when you went straight into Lower Norfair, went straight to the screw attack check, and there's your fire rod?
I didn't know how to feel. I felt really good and relieved, but also like really shaken up. I thought that racing against like the recording would be not as stressful, but I think it turned out to be more stressful.
Sure.
Yeah, because he definitely it already in a weird like he already did it like kind of an alternate universe kind of almost sense. So. But I mean, you have to feel good of a 215. But Andy put up a 216 in the race earlier today, so
I know that's what I'm thinking. Like, he's just gonna get really lucky, or he's gonna read it better, or whatever.
I mean, even with the weird layout where you just able to not get morph ball, like you just need to change one or two things. Like the boots being on Meyer was really if they were just somewhere in a Link to the Past where Andy can get him fairly easily, like he would still have a really good chance. Or if you put Fire Rod at like Wreck Ship Reserve or something you're not going to go to very like right away, and you would still end up clearing a lot of SM, or like back in Britain Loop or something, right? You just change one of those two things. Like the outcome is completely different on this. So.
But yeah, Andy quietly does have his last crystal is heading up to GT, and then of course the big key just being sitting there right there. I mean, Andy's or not on the torch, on the right side. So.
After all this, Andy's still gonna get like
he's gonna have a really good time.
Yeah, basically a full clear. All he didn't do was Turtle Rock. He's gonna come in with like a 250, maybe a low 250.
Yeah,
here,
I think so.
Which is still a really solid time, like especially for a full clear.
Actually, even lower than that, because that big key is just he's gonna get that right away.
Yeah, and like he probably again, like I mean, he did this before, but like he probably doesn't even feel that bad. It's like when is Azure gonna go to? He's not gonna go right away. And again, the only reason you did is because you missed Morph Ball of all things. Like it's just it's. I mean, like
the flippers at Croc might have been Maze in the hole up until
then,
because
he got those pretty late. Yeah, Andy got those pretty late.
We were thinking that was one of the things before, but yeah, the boots at Meyer were definitely the biggest thing. Like once you found that, like I said, like if you had like the sports like percentage thing that was like ticking back and forth, I feel like you were going from like a 4 to 5% up to like 95% with that one find, where it just completely changed the seed.
Oh, in terms of like chance to win.
Yeah, like win percentage, because like we were still thinking there's got to be some stuff in SM. Like we were thinking Meridia was where they most likely were.
For sure, they were in Meridia, and he starts full core in Meridia, and you spike the boots out of Green Pendant. It's like, oh.
Like I'd be interested to see what had happened if boots were in Meridia, because I mean, you probably, I don't know, like I would think you would probably do Lower Norfair first, and then probably do Meridia afterwards. So like, wouldn't it be that much slower than what you ended up doing? But then of course Andy wouldn't have gotten completely lost. Yeah, Andy wouldn't have gotten completely lost looking for the boots, so he would have been much faster. Put boots in Meridia instead of.
Boots in Meridia would have been interesting because it would have still been a late pickup for Andy. He still had all those crystal dungeons to do, and it would just been a matter of does Azure go to Meridia or go to the other, one of the other 50, 60, 70 SM locations that he couldn't get to earlier.
I mean, that'd have been a crazy finish because it was like you would have missed Morph and it would have been really close. Like that'd have been a really exciting finish to watch, I think.
Yeah, thinking about like what stuff was left, I still feel like it would have been close.
Oh yeah, for sure would have been close. It just the outcome would have been like we knew once you made the decision to go to Lower Norfair, and we knew it was basically done at that point.
Yeah, like I guess for Restream, the boots placement was the ridiculous one, and for me the Fire Rod placement was the ridiculous one. Because I didn't know I was gonna find it right away. I figured I'd have to search all of that stuff for it.
Yeah, I mean, it was a little bit backwards. Andy a little bit more known for A Link to the Past. Of course,
Yep.
I mean, the low percent world record 1 point, so very good. But like, you guys ended up playing like the opposite games that you're known for.
Yep.
So it was kind of funny.
Yeah, I hear I was thinking the whole time that he's been stuck in Link to the Past the whole time, and he's got an edge on me there, so I am not doing so bad. I mean, I didn't play super. I played mostly badly in SM, honestly. Link to the Past wasn't that bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got used to it at some point, I guess.
I think you were fine in SM. I think you're sometimes you're a little bit hard on yourself, but yeah,
My bosses were really bad.
It, honestly, like,
your loadouts were not exactly the greatest.
I don't think anyone's had a bootsless seed and went like, man, I played really well in A Link to the Past, because like you can't do any of the fun stuff. You just walk in, so you're just like, I feel gross.
I don't know. I pay a lot of attention to like where to pump and what lines to take and stuff, so I don't mind bootless.
I mean, sure, but it's like I feel like you're always gonna feel like. I don't think everyone will be like, yeah, it was great. Like,
I feel like you're always gonna feel like I play well when I don't have boots.
All right, fine.
And that kind of begs the question, like, what does playing well really mean without boots? Like, you don't really have to do anything.
Yeah, like you said, there is definitely some minor, especially like some of those rooms that like you just have like boot strats for. Like some of them are like Hellway, right? Is kind of really tricky without boots. Although a lot of that's just RNG.
Yeah, that was a little bit dumb. One of the worst ones. The worst rooms are in GT though, so I didn't have to do those.
Yeah, GT without boots never feels good.
That was probably the most stressful race I've ever had in this randomizer.
And Andy hovering across just chooses not to do the hook shot.
I wasn't going to mention it. I was just hoping we were just going to let it go.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, yep.
Oh yeah, I was kind of relieved to see the hook shot right off the bat.
Well, you needed it anyway, because Swamp was a crystal, of course, but yeah.
Annie in his Aga 2 fight here. Really underrated difficult fight here. Like, getting these like 2 or 3 cycles here, very difficult. That's a pretty easy 3 cycle. I stand corrected, but very nicely done still.
No, in general, I think this is the hardest fight one of the hardest fights in this game. Not to come out alive, but to optimize. Yeah,
to optimize. This and Landmo, not so much in Rando because you're pretty loaded out, but the bow fight, getting 2 cycles for Landmo is just
speaking of, you had a nice little, was it bow master sword there, azder, on your Landmo?
Yeah, it started out really good, and then ended not so great, and then I was like, wait, there wasn't an item here, I should have just left it for later.
So, Landmo.
Also, I came out of it with 0 arrows, and I was panicking. I was panicking once I found Fire Rod, because I was just like, oh god, I'm gonna go into GT with 0 arrows, and then, like, not have any for mimics, and then probably, like, mess with Mimic Clip 40 times or something. And then I was like, oh hey, Skull and popular arrows. Nobody ever picks those up.
Yeah, good to know where those items are. I was talking about a lot during the spoiler tournament, where the runners that know what's in those pots have a nice advantage if you know what your pots are.
Actually, I don't know if people pick those up in any category or not, because
which ones?
The arrows with skull. Yeah, because there's a
you
green,
do. In
small
the new
green
AD.
on the top.
In the new AD, you do.
Oh, really? I haven't seen the new AD yet. I'm kind of looking forward to seeing that.
I think that there was some. It was like one of the initial routes. Someone had him in. I ran it like once and didn't pick him up. It kind of depends on your drops and stuff, but yeah, they're at least useful there because the routing's all different.
The kind of crappy thing about them is you're on the bottom of the hole after you pick them up, and you take longer to fall. In Mothula's route because you're further south.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, Yeah, so they're really slow arrows then overall. Those gotta be like second plus arrows.
But faster than doing a mimic clip.
Depends on how fast you can do the mimic clip.
Or farming arrows somewhat plays stupid.
I don't actually know the fast strat. I didn't learn it. The one where you get the first mimic to insta clip through the block.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's not even the fastest strat anymore. Like, there's still faster strats than that, I think.
Really?
Or no, it's faster in the room, right? But you save the menu. That's why.
Oh,
You put
I
the menu in the room. Yeah.
I just mean if you don't have arrows at all.
Oh! If you don't have arrows, yeah. Well, then
And-
if you still have to clip the one, it doesn't matter then, right? Because they just go at the same time.
Okay, Andy finishing up Ganon, and now heading over towards Torian.
Oh, you're talking about putting him in the block at the bottom and clipping him out right away.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about the mirror meng or whatever it is, where you like menu to the mirror or menu to the bow in the first and clip out the first mimic. That strat. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
That's
yeah.
not what I meant, though.
And, and I see Andy landing straight on the 20 rupees because that's what happens when you skip that item.
Yeah, I always skip it because it's like this time I'll jump over it, and I never do. It's just I really should just.
You know
pick
what?
them
I
up
don't care
every
how
time.
bad the item is. I just grab it. I never remember to skip it. So, but yeah, Andy's gonna have a much easier Turian here with 7 tanks, full beam combo. But nice Turian though, by the way, Azder, with the with only 3 tanks and power bombs. That actually gets a little scary.
Yeah, I just figured baby skip was not going to be a priority because bad beam for clearing the blocks. And
Yeah, wave beam was actually GT. We were surprised Andy picked it up. Honestly.
Yeah, he went back for it, which is really weird. Like
Wait,
it was at GT missiles. So he killed GT from the back side. Yeah, he killed GT from the backside and then went around to pick up wave beam, which really surprised us.
That's weird.
Because at that point wave beam doesn't do much for you.
Yeah, so Andy's gonna be finishing here with in the mid 40s. It looks
Yeah,
like.
I
Again,
think so.
just really good time. Like when he played this, he probably felt fine. Like for what he did, had a pretty clean route. Honestly, like I can't imagine would you have gone into Misery Mire that early if it wasn't the fact that like you just got choked down to that? Like most people wouldn't really think of going in there, and especially not clearing Vidi.
I would have done a lot of SM before that.
Yeah, exactly. So, at some point, it just depends on when you make that call. Andy didn't move.
Would I have done 25 minutes worth of SM? 25, 30 minutes? It's possible, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, depending on when you get that morph. Like I'm saying, if you got the morph ball relatively early.
Just missing
the. Like if I got morph early, and it was.
Well, because I assume you usually pull like a low hour SM, right? So you're at 37 minutes here. So yeah, like a little over 20 minutes.
Yeah, 20 give or take. I get sub-hour SM.
Plus, you probably there's about 5 minutes worth of saves coming from the gravity suit at least, so that's where the 210 comes from. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So like right in the ballpark. It would have been interesting when we pulled that, but again, I don't think Andy necessarily probably didn't feel great, but like certainly thought he had a chance. But just crazy see. Certainly one to remember.
I was thinking about it while running, like, because he's out having to do whatever today, and I'm just thinking about him in the car or whatever. Thinking about how he's like, oh, my round of 8 seed went really well, but my quarterfinals, like, just like already him going through about his day, already knowing kind of what was going to happen or what might happen. I was thinking about whether he was feeling like super good or like
I mean,
already knowing he lost or
probably after pulling in 216 he's probably like, I'm gonna pencil myself in for the second one. That's being a very good time. But yeah, this one, like if I was in his shoes, I'd feel like pretty coin flippy. Maybe thinking because there was quote unquote a heavy SM seed, like maybe giving you a little bit of advantage because of that. But yeah, would have been it would just nominally it would come down to that Meyer decision, right? And you just kind of got weirdly forced into it.
I was gonna say this in the last interview, but it wasn't that important. But I feel like when you're watching an SMZ3 race, or like when you're playing the weekly or whatever, and everyone talks about it afterwards, it feels like nobody played the same seed sometimes.
Yeah, there are times. Yeah, absolutely, I agree.
There are times where it's like, oh, well, everyone last location this, and it's like, no, I had that like 10 minutes in. Like, what did you like?
I remember a seed in particular that I thoroughly enjoyed. Completely broke all the speed booster locations that had all the progression, and everybody's like, "Oh, what a trolly seed!" I'm like, "That was a great seed. I loved it."
Yeah, it just like.
It's like Wavy was someplace stupid, open croc, and everything was behind that in the speed booster. So.
I mean, even the one I ran where it was like, with the doing the fake flippers to Dark World, like that seed felt very natural to do that in, but like WoW was when it didn't do it, and it just became so much worse for him. Of course, then I died 5 times, so he still got the win. Turns out that dying 5 times is slow. Yeah, I don't recommend it.
And we do see Andy doing the stand-up glitch, since he does have enough E-tanks to do it. Yeah, apparently all the E-tanks were in SM.
Yeah, all that.
Thank goodness you had that. Thank goodness you had that reserve, because you dipped just below that 300.
Yeah, I was a bit too careless. That was actually, I could have died there, if the ketchup had double hit me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I was. Like, did you actually know your count exactly when the ketchup was coming out? Because like, I always thought.
No, I didn't bother counting because I had.
Yeah.
Because you don't damage yourself down anyway.
Because I had ammo. And
yeah,
it was just too much math, and I had plasma, so it was gonna die.
Well, yeah. Normally I do the same thing, right? I just throw all the ammo at her, and then I do. But usually I have like 7 E-tanks, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like honestly, if I was in your situation, I'm like, I'm just doing the beam fight because I know when the red beam's coming out that way.
I tend to be overconfident in this fight because I can usually read the patterns really well.
Yeah, it's really easy to become overconfident on Motherbrain. I've noticed that. Even when I switched from.
I lost 2 low 44s to dying to MV now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, when I switched from old route to new route, I was like, I don't have to practice Motherbrain, I know how to do the fight, and all of a sudden it was like, this fight's really long. It turns out it's hard because you got like...
it's so rare to see the hard SMZ3 MB fight, because usually you have so much ammo.
Yeah.
Where you have the full beam combo, and it's kind of a joke, you know, it's rare that you get these... you know, and you have a million E-tanks, and you didn't have that because all the E-tanks, I guess, were in SM, because I don't recall you skipping any, to be honest, you know. I mean, I'm sure there was 1 or 2 somewhere, but...
Yeah, so Andy finishing up right now. Again, coming up for a pretty good time here. Gonna finish with a 2:42.31. So GG's to him. Nicely done. Again, just...
Yeah, GG's to Andy. It really was a nice run from him.
Yeah, I mean, just the way azder plays, like, very few people would end up beating azder in the seed the way it played out and the way he played it. So just, I mean, kind of a little unfortunate for Andy the way it broke. Just such a bizarre seed, and just really, again, really great run from azder. I'm not sure if we're gonna get Andy in. I think he's hanging around.
Yeah, if he's around, it'd be great to have him in here. But I don't know what his schedule is to that question.
Yeah, but and azder, you got either Aussie or Wild coming up next in the finals. Thoughts on that potential matchup?
I feel like Aussie and I are like long due for a best of 3 kind of deal.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we had that one matchup in the
exhibition
tournament.
We had the exhibition right before the last tournament too. You guys,
but
that was just one. That's not the same.
That didn't even count for anything. We faced in TGRC semis, and the way the bracket laid out, a lot of people were saying that like that probably should have been the finals. But yeah, I was actually thinking like, well, this is writing off Wild. Sorry, but I'll get to him in a second. But I was thinking if I lost this race and Aussie won his, then it'd be Aussie and Andy again. When they did the best of 5 for the winter 2019 or whatever it was.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And then if it's me and Wild, then that kind of makes me think back to the first SM Rando tournament where...
Yeah, I do recall you playing each other.
Yeah, I 2-0'd him in winner's bracket when he was the #1 seed. It was like a big upset at the time because I wasn't that good. But it'd be interesting. I think the way these seeds shake out, I think Ozzy is like really heavily favored, and he plays solo way more. But you know, anything could happen from what you saw here.
It is randomizer, like you say. You know, weird things happen in randomizer.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that generally, especially if you and Austin on the other side of the bracket, like people kind of pencil you guys in, but you know, like again, this competition is really good.
Like Solski beat both of
like,
us. Like he literally went through both of us in a row.
Yeah, he went through both of you.
Well, and that seed that Aussie played Solski, where you know, I remember Duck, you were commentating, and it was the item at X-ray that got Aussie, and it was like, wait a minute, the wrong person got the item that what you would expect.
Yeah, and then the the GT Vanilla Big Key got azder in the finals. But yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, I feel like people like pencil you guys in. Like you guys are both just really good at the games. But it's like, you know, all these matches are like what, like it's rando, right? So it's like 60-40 like chances to win, like percentage wise. So for pretty much anyone in this tournament. So everyone's really good, you know. Definitely anything can happen. But yeah, I think a lot of people look forward to the azder Aussie matchup. But a lot of people look forward to the, you know, azder Wild. You know, Wild just haven't playing this in a while, and just coming up and showing off like just a very good SM player. You know, and been around forever too. So everyone's really great. So in either way, it's going to be really exciting. But we do have Wild versus Aussie coming up next. Azzer, you got any last thoughts?
No, that was scary. Thanks to Solski for putting this on. It's been a lot of fun to sit here and play this all day, and also watch it all day. Regardless of what would have happened. But this was a scary matchup for me because Andy is really good at games and randomizer in general, and I have not in our entire like 4-year tournament careers, I have never gotten a matchup with him, and the time that I did, he wasn't even here for it.
Yep. So, all right, I think that's going to do it for us then. We are going to have the Aussie versus Wild next. We're going to have Maniacal and Solski on it, and looking like maybe me. I'll be there for color.
Yeah, we're still working on who's commentating. I'm going to take a break, but I'll be back tomorrow for one or more of the races. So I'm super looking forward to that.
Yep. All right, so yeah, we'll have a discussion of what the comm situation is going to be here, but some group of memers.
It'll be a pair of people that know what they're talking about in SMZ3. I promise.
Yeah, so we're going to take a short break here, but definitely stick around. I think some of us are going to get some snacks, but we will be closing this out today at least, and then we will have the best of 3 finals tomorrow with azder and either Wassi or Wild, which we'll find out coming up next. So we are going to take a quick break right now. We'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Yep, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow, and I'll be watching this last one.